on, intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. What's going on, main characters? Welcome back to another episode of the Third Party Podcast. It's me and your boy in the studio. We got the Cody.
What's up?
And it's gonna be a pretty fun day. We have a lot to say about the War of the Rohirrim. We just came out of theaters. A lot of mixed opinions on this floating around the internet, but I think the consensus is that, wow, that is a piece of absolute trash.
Yeah, we're pretty unified in our
opinion is set. Like I would love for someone to come on and like give us a take that isn't like that this movie is redeemable in some sense.
I want someone to try to justify.
I want someone. If you guys have an opinion on this movie after seeing it in the chat, please let us know in the comments what you guys thought of this movie. If you think it has redeeming qualities, please make them known, because we didn't find any and we did our absolute best.
I got one.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the War of the Rohirrim, and we are going to be going into heavy spoilers on that. Additionally, we have Chris Evans returning to the MCU. That news broke this week. WarHammer 40k series is officially announced. Henry Cavill is on the job as the executive producer slash actor in the film. He is not going to be directing it.
Yeah, I didn't think he was. He's not a director.
Well, the rumors around it originally floating were that he was going to direct it and kind of take that role with it, but
that's a lot on your plate.
Well, but keep in mind also, it was all in the pre-discussion phase where they were trying to talk about, where they were trying to figure out what story they were going to tell in this universe. So before they even got to development and got to assigning roles and shit, they were like, what story are we even going to tell? This universe is literally 40,000 years old.
It's a big universe.
We have a lot of we have a big universe. So we have a lot to talk about with both of those stories, and then we'll make sure to get to the War of the Rohirrim. Before we get into any of that, we do have a couple of quick announcements. Just a reminder, guys, if you haven't already, go check out the merch store. Look at we just updated the store to include a bunch of new t-shirts. I think they're amazing designs. We have a lot of different colors, all the different sizes, all the way up to 5XL for you guys who watch movies too much. And
like the guy to our left.
Like the guy to our left.
At the theater.
Okay,
we don't like spread eagle, just like, this couch isn't big enough for me.
That guy bought 2 seats. That guy bought 2 seats, and he definitely buys 3 seats on an airplane.
I think he fucking hated the movie too.
Oh my god, but it's not like he could throw his arms up in rage or anything.
He could barely get past him. And the aisle is like fucking 8 feet wide.
This is the Blob dominating the theater. He bought 2 tickets, and that's why the movie's gonna perform so well.
Oh yeah, all the fat fucks.
I'm sorry, we're having fun, but guys, seriously, if you guys haven't already, consider supporting the channel by purchasing a t-shirt from the merch store. We have a lot of cool designs in there, something for everybody. Link is in the description. Additionally, just a reminder, we do have the free giveaway going on right now with our variety pack from XS Energy. If you guys are interested in trying to win your free giveaway, all you have to do is comment on any of our videos, and if your comment receives the most likes by January 1st, we will do an announcement and we will announce the winner. That's all you have to do to win. And then once your name is announced, we'll connect with you through our Twitter, through our X, to get you your prize. So
how was that root beer one though?
Oh, it was so good. The root beer was my favorite. It was the
I knew it would be. You're that kind of guy. Well,
no, it kind of tasted it was more of an energy drink flavor than an actual root beer, so there's a huge distinction, obviously. But the thing I liked about it is that with that inclusion, it tasted more like a cream soda A&W.
Oh, that's my jam.
And so like I drank it. I mean, I drank it and I was like, oh, Cody should have had this one. This one should have gone to Cody. The dragon
OD on those.
The dragon fruit was my favorite. I really like the dragon fruit. But they have the variety pack comes with a bunch of choices, and there's so many out there. So go check out that stuff. Again, all you have to do to win is comment on a video, and if yours receives the most likes, no limit on how many comments you can make, and feel free to like yours as much as you want. So with all of that out of the way, let's just jump into our week, bud. What have you been up to this week?
Stuff and things.
Oh my god, I love things. Stuff I can do without.
Yeah, but things. Things are fun.
We got Colton in the chat. I see you there, buddy. You thought it was the best movie? Go jump off of a hill. Not a cliff. Not a cliff.
Don't even know who you are anymore.
Who is Colton? I don't even know.
Right. No, I've been playing games. I haven't been watching much, actually.
Yeah?
I've been playing. I got back into Starfield, the most hated game ever.
Pronouns. Fucking pronouns.
I basically waited until the game was actually finished, and then I dived back in. And it's not that okay, so you really have to role play when you're playing that game. You have to be immersed and try to just get into your character and just play a certain way. Otherwise, you're gonna fucking hate it. If you try to do everything, you might blow your brains out.
It's just that much. Like,
there's
well, it's repetitive, right? I thought you said that, like,
There's
a lot of
so
them.
much goddamn talking.
Okay, this
You
is
could
dialogue.
spend 5 hours in a city just talking to people.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
too much. That's like a day.
Yeah, I think when the game first came out, when we were talking about it, I said, don't spend too much time in New Atlantis. Do your quest objectives and then move the fuck on.
Otherwise, you'll get stuck,
Yeah.
bogged down, burnt out.
But yeah, it's like just pick a faction and like a way that your character would like interact with the galaxy, and then just role play off that. Because if you're gonna join every faction, it's gonna get mundane as shit.
So you've been playing Starfield. Did you get back? You're still on Rivals kick? You excited for
Oh
tomorrow?
fuck yeah, I'm still on Rivals.
Right. What's your main? Who's your main?
Right now it's Cap, actually.
Seriously? So I've seen you play him.
Yeah, it was either Magneto or Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Because you either need an invincible dude that never dies. Magneto is really great for
I think I was misusing him then.
Dude, it's so easy. His survivability is insane.
I was dying so quick. Seriously, with Magneto 700 HP.
You got a shield, and you got a shield that you can put on yourself, too.
My shields vanished almost instantly.
Oh, yeah, they're very short shields.
Yeah, they're shot.
They're timed, not damage-based.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I guess, like, Star-Lord, which does insane amounts of damage. He can hit anyone, anywhere. It's like,
With his hit and run mobility, he is an insane control player, or like an insane control character, I should say. I mean, when I was playing against him, it was just impossible to catch him. Like, if I was able to pin him down, I could take him out pretty easily. But I mean, he's just Tracer. He's just Tracer from Overwatch.
He's just Tracer, yeah, with little less mobility.
I would say more considering he can fly.
I'd say more survivability. I guess, yeah. Can't rewind that time though and gain back your health like an asshole.
True. That's science. That's
yeah. You can get him. I was bogging him down with Hulk, just chasing him around, just constantly doing the leap. Get back here, you little fucker.
Oh man, I had a full week this week.
But yeah, I don't know. I was playing a lot of that too.
I
got an ungodly amount of hours in it.
So I started watching Dan, and
what is that about?
Okay, so here's
I heard it's like some dude trying to find his dick or something.
It's literally that. Okay. It's literally that. Okay, so I'll give you guys the briefest example I can, because it's also crossing a lot of genres. So it crosses this kind of intense horror genre with comedy / slice of life. Because the students all live and go to high school, and they're friends in high school. And it starts off with this loner kid who's really into aliens and UFOs. And then this pretty popular girl, like semi upper popular girl, whose grandmother is a medium for ghosts and haunts and stuff. And she sees this loner kid getting bullied, steps in, and they kind of become like friends pretty quickly, but they don't believe in each other's concepts at all. So the boy is like, it's UFOs. You obviously came over to talk to me because you wanted to talk about UFOs. Obviously. What else would you be wanting to talk to me about? And she's like, UFOs aren't real, you idiot. It's ghosts that you need to be really afraid of.
It's like Alex Jones meets Alex Jones.
At different stages. Different timelines meet Alex.
Demons.
I can imagine a multiverse timeline where Alex Jones is like really pro-establishment, and then our Alex Jones, which is very anti-establishment, just meeting each other, having a 20-hour debate that's televised on CNN.
And then they end up fucking each other.
They drank the frogs. But
drink the frogs.
So the show just drops in a bunch of ghosts. They drop in demons. They drop in aliens. They drop in all sorts of like occult references,
supernatural / sci-fi /
And in the pilot, she unlocks actual psychic abilities. And so they like challenge each other. He's like, no, you have to go to this place where UFO spottings keep happening. And she's like, well, then you have to go to this haunted house or this haunted place where ghosts keep appearing. And so they do that. They're on the phone with each other. She gets abducted by aliens. And here's where the dick going missing part. I'm not making a case for it. First off, I have not given this show a review. I'm just 100% caught up and have watched every episode. And I'm in love with the intro. I think the intro's banger. But I'm not making a case for anyone to watch this. I'm just giving a synopsis. So he's being chased by Turbo Granny, who is a very famous ghost because she's really fucking fast. Okay. And she wants to eat his dick. Like she just chomp. and then it goes missing.
What the fuck?
No, that's it. That's it. And then she possesses him.
Dude, what are the Japs on lately?
I don't know. That one was a really weird. So then she
It goes missing.
she possesses his body. And then
It's called the show Ghost Dick.
well, she possesses his body, and then they eventually defeat her, and he regains his dick back. But then, plot twist, both of his balls are missing.
Oh no!
And they're both gold. Now they're both tiny golden spheres that have been scattered across the city somewhere. And if anybody comes into contact with them, they can now see ghosts, and they gain superpowers of their own. And that's where these new.
Why wouldn't you get everyone in the city to feel up your balls then?
I mean, you probably want them back. I mean, you already have
They're golden and useless to you now.
Dude, he's
now
no-
you can
well-
just plow away without any concern.
Yeah, the single nerd kid is going to be like just like really selling himself on that. It's like that's his pitch.
Doesn't everyone do that? I don't understand.
Hey babe, no balls. We doing this?
We're doing this.
We're doing this. Let's do it. And then so that's how they introduce the new characters, is that there are these interactions where they just kind of stumble across these tiny little golden spheres that are just around. Then they can see ghosts and shit. So it's
so weird, dude.
is it more weird that I know that I watched the entire show and I'm gonna continue watching it, or is the show itself just so weird?
I mean, I'm not surprised.
I don't know if it's me. It might be me. It might be me. I might be the problem. I don't want to be the problem.
Don't you watch good stuff?
Dude, I can't make a pitch on the show. So like the intro is the intro is definitely worth watching, because I think the intro is just really good. But as far as like the show itself, I don't know who the audience is. The fact that this
the animation like Ballers Fuck or something.
the animation's really good. Really good. It plays on a lot of it plays to a lot of tropes, but does them way better. Like when the girl's psychic powers are being used, it's just like you see like an ethereal world. She can see souls and everything changes. Her she can like move her spirit out of her body to like grab things and interact with them. She's OP, or she's powerful as shit. The boy can just run really fast because he still has Turbo Granny like
You're right.
So I mean, like,
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense then, because like the picture they use on like Crunchyroll or whatever, it makes a little more sense.
yeah, he's possessed. He has like a transformation that he can use, and he's trying to get physically stronger because his normal body can't handle the transformation.
I mean, and I think anime's that one like that one piece of art where you can get sold on an anime based off of like one thing. Like with Fire Force, it was the sound design. The sound design that show is so goddamn good that I kept watching it.
This show does not have a phenomenal sound design. Just out of like
Right.
I'd say the thing about this show that probably draws a lot of people is the animation and the quality of the quality of the
It's just
visuals.
the weirdness of it.
The
maybe.
weirdness. Well, I mean, like One Punch Man, right, has a cult following.
Oh yeah.
And that show has like the thing about One Piece and One Punch Man is that the monsters have to be so over the top, quirky, and weird. Then I just am not for it. Like One Piece, fine, it has a great long telling story.
Right.
Whatever.
And then like with Demon Slayer, the animation's so good that you kind of forgive a bunch of other shit about it.
Exactly. So I mean, all of that to be said, I also play. So I got caught up on Dan to Dan, and I can't at all make a case for why this show is as successful as it is. So I won't try that hard. But it is just it's really bizarre.
You know what you should check out is Daima, Dragon Ball, Daima.
Yeah.
When they're back as kids, because
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
actually not that bad.
No,
I mean there is some like what the fuck, this is kind of retarded moments.
Yep.
But I kind of expect it with Dragon Ball. It's
Yeah.
not like a
Well, I watched a clip where apparently like Goku's actually doing a smart thing, and I'm like, oh, that's strange.
I don't know.
It's they're playing Queen's Gambit where they're like shuffling the
Oh,
cards
that's
around.
not a smart thing. He just saw the dude toss the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, wicked smart. My boy's wicked smart.
He's got quick eyes.
So yeah, I mean, all of that. All of that I thought was pretty good. I don't have any major complaints about it, except that it is really over the top. But I was able to sit down and enjoy it. It was really just dumb entertainment for me. But come the 7th or 8th episode, I started to like lose track of where I was and just not as invested. Started playing
Too
Clash of
busy
Clans.
playing Clash of Clans.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm Town Hall 14 in that game. I gotta keep grinding.
That means nothing to me.
I know. But so that's just Dan to Dan. Then obviously you guys got me into Rivals, and I'm gonna really brag on this one really hard.
Oh shit.
So I step into Rivals for the first time, a virgin player, as it
You're
were.
down the hall. Gotta see this.
A pure noob. And I pick up the first character. I did not shuffle characters. I just heard that Wanda plays sort of like a character I really enjoyed playing in Overwatch. And so I pick up Wanda, I jump into my first game, and I go 44-1. And it's just this bomb of a game. Like I killed everything that came across my path. It wasn't even close. I think everyone else on my team had single digits because I just kept stealing all the kills.
Oh yeah.
Or what?
It's like their assists are like it's like 0, 1, and 40.
I was dropping nukes in that game. I did so well. I got a screenshot. I'm definitely gonna post it. I'm definitely posting that shit on X and YouTube. I'm gonna be like, hey guys.
Did you accidentally queue against bots?
I don't think so.
That would have been hilarious.
It would have been pretty funny, but I'm definitely posting that screenshot I grabbed because that's the best I've done. I think my only other really huge gaming accolade was when I got a 27 kill streak with knife in what version was that? I think that was Modern Warfare 2019. So in Modern Warfare 2019, I unlocked the Obsidian knife. I was just a god with it. And
God, he is a god.
27 kill streak, and of course it's one of the infinite amount of Call of Duty games that don't have a nuke at the end of
yeah, the one time you can actually get there.
Yeah, and the game doesn't have it. I was like, what? Why can't the lobby close and load an awesome cutscene and then praise me?
Why can't I be the nuke at the end and you just give me 5 more kills or 6 more kills? Or
just give me a cutscene where I'm just running around the map like Flash with my obsidian knife out, just knocking down all the opponents. Just give me a beautiful cutscene. Obviously, they can't. It's not fair to ask them to, but it would be
not fair.
It would be so cool.
But you're enjoying Rivals.
I'm really enjoying Rivals. I'm just trying to maintain like a consistent play because obviously Bannerlord went well. I had a fun game on Thursday for Bannerlord. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 and I really don't want to put that down. I want to finish the campaign one time.
The Bannerlord, that's one where you just walking over people with the dragon?
Yeah, that was so good.
There's another one where I went 201.
Dude, it was actually like almost 801. It was like 796 or something, 791. So it was some insane number, but I was just marching over an entire army, and then I got so addicted. I was like, I'm not giving up the dragon. I want power.
I like numbers.
And like,
give me dopamine.
Give me slot machine mechanics and microtransactions in my games. No, it was fantastic. So Bannerlord, Baldur's Gate 3, Rivals, getting caught up on Dan to Dan. I had a full week in addition to everything else we're trying to do with the channel. So yeah, crazy. I think that covers our week. So should we jump into our first story?
Yeah. Let's go to my main in Rivals.
Oh yeah, baby. Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
So, story comes from Grayson on X, who the only thing I hate about Chris Evans coming back is how annoying y'all are going to be about it for the next 3 years. Let's clarify. Chris Evans is returning to the MCU for Avengers Doomsday. And there's still a lot of clarification that's coming about whether he's reprising his role as Captain America or whether he's coming back as Captain Hydra. Or one of the other characters that are not claimed yet.
Captain Nazi.
Cap Nazi.
Yeah, there also is in Gary from Neurotica is saying this. I think he's the only one that's really caught it. During the trailer for the new Captain America movie, Falcon, Captain America, is talking to someone off screen, and it sounds like old man
Evans.
Cap.
Old man Captain.
So he might be in that movie as well. But I'm so excited for that movie.
What is your take on this? So obviously I know I
don't like people coming back after they're written out.
So okay, I want to try to play a hypothetical devil's advocate. If I wanted to create an ever expanding universe, if that was my goal, right? I would obviously ostracize the fandom that want like a lore accurate canonical story. So I'd obviously exercise out people like you and I from the fandom. But if my mission was still to create a multiverse experience, it would probably be my prerogative to hold the best actors or the most popular actors for the series into the franchise. There's no money being lost here by virtue of doing this. I guess you could make a case that you're overpaying actors that have outstayed their welcome, but again, you're only exercising out the people like you and I who don't want this stuff to keep happening.
And they were doing it for 10 years or less, but Like Iron Man's ending, great. Did it for 10 years. He was the face. He is the face of the MCU.
Yeah.
RDJ was awesome. Cool. Killed him off. Did it in a nice way. I actually kind of liked it, how they did it. Cap's, on the other hand, doesn't really make that much sense.
No.
Cap goes back in history, stays there, and then he just doesn't help with anything that ever threatens the world for those 60 years.
Right.
I don't think Cap would do that. I mean, staying with Haley Atwell, I understand that.
Oh man, I
Might not want to
totally empathize.
It's like, I gotta go maybe die, or I got,
I still have not
Haley at
danced
home.
with a woman. It's been 100 years and I have not danced with a single woman. Not in my life.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the most relatable nerd story ever.
I just don't dance.
You don't dance.
I don't dance. These boots don't be walking. Anyway. But yeah, the character's out and they're bringing him back because it's more of a like desperation issue. It's like, dude, we got to put out some like bomber news so people like want to come see our movie, because Marvel's been flopping since Doctor Strange Mom. And I think that was 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Everything after that has been flop after
Which
flop after
really sucks because Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Cumberbatch, like
Sam Raimi as director.
Sam Raimi, there was no reason that should have failed as hard as it did. Like it should have been.
No,
a better...
it actually did make money, but not
Right.
like, not a whole lot. But that was like that was also coming off the heels of No Way Home, which
Right.
Doctor Strange is also in. So
you should have been able to build into something, but the fact that you played so hard into the multiverse aspect of it, like, because you have Spider-Man No Way Home where they all understood the dangers of playing with the multiverse and it was a bad thing to do. Now all of a sudden it's kind of like just what Doctor Strange does. He's just like fucking around, just ruining universes by accident. Bringing orphans through the multiverse and letting Wanda try to kill them or whatever. And so I didn't even see that.
I haven't either. I know about it. It's just dumb, and I don't really care about the MCU and whatnot moving forward. What they should do is just focus on the fanfish sticks and
Fanfish sticks.
Yeah, the fanfish sticks and the X-Men. Redo the X-Men. Start from the ground up. Make a badass Cyclops, because that's what I always wanted. X-Men 97 kind of gave it.
X-Men 97. You brought that up before I started watching it, and so I was looking for it. The X-Men 97. Oh, how are they doing Cyclops? I'm like, God damn, he's a confident leader and doing
badass.
Who's badass. He has some dramas with it that he's trying to overcome, so a little bit of character growth. I think it gets a little.
He's like the Captain America of the X-Men team.
Well, I thought the clone of Jean Grey was really stupid. I thought that was really dumb.
Nowhere.
He's like, I don't know which one I'm having sex with right now. Is it you? No.
He's like, it looks like our fucking twins now.
How about you? I'm having sex with her brain. I'm having sex with your body. What are we doing here? Like, are we doing this?
It's like that old Budweiser commercial comes into play. It's like, and twins.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think besides that, they did his character really well.
Yeah.
I think they did all the characters really well. I think X-Men 97 was probably a good solid one-shot story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if they're continuing it. I haven't heard any news about the continuation.
They are.
They could.
There was that side plot with like Storm and whatever that was.
That was kind of dumb.
That was like, all right, cool. Can we get back to the fun stuff?
You go discover yourself. We'll keep fighting monsters or keep fighting androids and robots and shit and be badass.
Did she lose her power somehow or some shit?
Yeah, she did. I think she didn't.
I lost my power because confidence.
Because she didn't believe hard enough.
Yeah. I rewatched.
She's an Omega level mutant and she just didn't believe hard enough.
I rewatched Spider-Man 2 recently with Toby.
Can I pause real quick? Keep that thought in your mind, but I was at Thanksgiving and Spider-Man 2 was one of the things that we could throw on, and then they threw on football and I was pissed. I was pissed. I was like, dude, this is like the one chance I actually have to watch Spider-Man 2 it's here. I'm in a Thanksgiving coma and I'm not going to be able to escape or do anything else. Yes, everybody loves Spider-Man. And then they're like, oh, but my fantasy football team might win one extra point today, so we're going to watch football.
We got to watch the game that everyone knows how it's going to go down.
Yeah.
The Bears versus Lions.
I was so pissed. The football ruined my Thanksgiving.
It almost did if the Lions lost, because I'm a Lions fan. I don't know why.
I don't either.
But
I mean, I don't know.
They've been really good this year, and then they almost fucked it up.
What I
on the
meant.
one time I watch a game.
Yep. What I meant was I don't know why I am a Lions fan either. I think I was a Vikings like a just depressed Vikings fan, and you're like, well, there's other options. I was like, oh shit, okay, and then I just decided to be a Lions fan. Well,
I jumped around a lot as a kid, and then like
this became a football
yeah,
podcast.
I know. Back in the day, dad Vikings fan, mom Packers fan. I was like,
oh no.
well, let me take the third.
Is that where the divorce came from?
Yeah. They were very passionate. No. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go Lions. I'm always an underdog guy.
I just liked the I think it was the 2016 lineup. Joik Bell, Golden Tate, Johnson with or Megatron. I don't remember what his full name was. Goff at quarterback. I thought that was a good offensive lineup, and it just couldn't get anywhere. But
Anyway.
your point on Spider-Man 2, I cut you off when you were making a point there.
Like, okay, first off, you kind of forget how ridiculous the amount of punishment Peter goes through in that movie. Like, nothing works out for him. Like say you could turn on a sink and water just wouldn't come out for this fucking guy. He goes through so much. But basically, yeah, he loses his powers of like confidence and unsure of how his life is going and whatnot.
Yep.
And it's like, aren't these just like physical traits you have? You don't just lose them because of like my mental state is shit.
Well, it's like the ultimate what is it? The ultimate impotence.
He gave himself the yips.
He gave himself the yips. My dick don't work because I don't believe hard enough.
I got fired from multiple jobs. My crush is getting married.
And she's an actress, so
Harry just slapped me in front of a party. My grandma's getting evicted.
oh my!
$20 means a lot to me these days.
I'm failing college.
Failing out of college.
And my like hero, Professor not Osborne,
Made a son in the middle of Manhattan.
Yeah, well, he said you have a lot of potential, but you're lazy, you little shit, little fucker.
Right here, you're lazy. Alfred Molina's great.
He was so good. I can't believe No Way Home is not talked about nearly enough. Like, people will talk about Endgame before they talk about No Way Home, and I'm just like, no. Every conversation about the MCU must segue over to No Way Home at some point, because that's where it all matters.
Yeah, they did everyone great and had like Jamie Foxx's Electro.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, it's so much better in that movie than fucking
yep.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. But yeah, I don't
Willem
know.
Dafoe crushed it as
I
Green
like how
Goblin.
we just go off on like just a superhero talk instead of talking about
Well, that's
these two guys.
But isn't that
returning.
kind of the news? Like, okay, so
It's a who gives a fuck. MCU's kind of dead. Just kill it. Restart.
I think that Restart could. There's so much money in action figures and all the like merchandising and licensing and rights that they're just like constantly spinning up. Like, every new project spans a bunch of new things that people just don't care about or want. I think there is still, I mean, every Marvel project that I can think about over the last year was a financial flop. I think Disney gets to take a lot of money from the Deadpool movie. They get to pay themselves back in spades with that project.
Well, yeah, it's only going to them. They don't have to share with anyone because 20th Century Fox is dead. They own that, so
Yeah.
they don't have to do the whole Sony thing.
Yeah, so you crack up.
Because they barely made a dime on No Way Home. That
Yeah.
was all Sony.
I know, but they could lose $100 million. They could lose $100 million or $200 million on Marvel's, $100 million on this project, that project at a time. You could. I don't know how much exactly they lost in 2023, and even earlier parts of 2024. But Deadpool Wolverine paid them back a lot of that loss, and they didn't learn any lessons from it. But they definitely definitely got their cash and said, "All right, well, that's the last annoying actor who wants to play something honestly that we're gonna have to deal with for a while."
Well, with Marvel, they're actually trying to like course correct, but we won't see it for years.
That's fair.
They've been doing a lot of in-house firing and whatnot and trying to get their shit in a row. And so Marvel's under Disney, and Disney's just kind of like Marvel do their own thing, and then Lucasfilm doing their own thing, and Lucasfilm not course correcting.
No,
they don't give a fuck.
They're dead. Star Wars is a dead brand in my
Kathleen
opinion.
Kennedy's like, I'm gonna retire when I have a hit, and so her plan is to never retire.
That is some job security right there. That's how you guarantee job security. No
shit all over your childhood.
I wonder how they're gonna play the dynamic between whoever Chris Evans ends up playing.
That'd be funny if it's like the same dynamic as like
They're still like reluctant friend, like good friends.
yeah, it's just Nazi Cap and Doom.
Yeah, it's like, all right, Cap. It's like, go do your thing. Call it, Captain.
Call it Cap.
All right, we need all of the Doom drones. We need to get all of the Doom drones on patrol. I'll Doom. It'll be. I mean,
Good call, Cap.
we're joking, but it could be funny. It could
That'd be weird having like RDJ play Tony
Doom.
Stark as Doom. Like it's the same character, but just he's got a worse perspective on life. But he's really quippy and funny.
Yeah.
it would not work.
Well, so I think Doom is going to be because we went over this, I think, like when they originally announced this, because they came out with like an idea of what that was going to look like for his backstory. Was the Doom and Tony Stark went to college together, and then Doom does something to Tony Stark and takes over Stark Industries.
But it's the same person.
Well, are you saying it's the same Robert Downey Jr. playing both roles? Because it's not. Like it'll be a different actor playing Tony Stark.
You can't do that because it's in the same universe yet.
I don't think so.
Fan 46. Oh no, because Fan 46 plays. I don't know why I keep calling it that. Because that one shit movie that I never watched. But it takes place in the 60s, and they introduced Doom at the end of that movie. He's not a big part in it,
Right.
so they started out in the 60s. So it'd be like different time. Oh yeah, you got the multiverse shit, so you can do whatever the fuck you want. I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's not like anything that they haven't pinned themselves down to a position where they would have to have Tony Stark in the same room, or Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark in the same room as Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Like that's very unlikely.
See, I was thinking in one consecutive timeline.
Yeah, you were thinking in like logic. You were using logic.
Yeah.
To articulate
But it's
a
like,
point about Marvel.
We
Disney.
have the multiverse. Oh, okay. So there are no rules.
No, but I think that there's a sentiment, obviously, that there's going to be a lot of criticism and annoyance at this. But realistically, I don't think it's going to come up that often. Like, when was the last time we talked about Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom? It hasn't come up since the announcement.
Well, I mean, I don't even think it'd be like an annoyance. Like, people that are still kind of like into like the MCU were like, fuck yeah, he's coming back. And then
Yeah.
people that hate it are just like, I don't care.
I wasn't going to watch it anyway. It's like, and you don't really have, like, they don't own the middle ground of like people anymore. Most people, I think, still approach Marvel films with skepticism now.
Well, you got like super normies that can't even tell the difference between Marvel and DC, and they're just going to see a superhero movie.
And then they have like
Don't care.
And then they have like a serious opinion about the like how you review a movie.
Right.
you know who you are.
I got that reference.
Yeah. But yeah, I honestly don't expect it's going to come up that often as they keep making announcements for more Marvel projects and we get closer, maybe it'll come up, but it's really going to be the same point. It's just like this is bad storytelling. You're using multiverse as a tool to completely erase any accountability to continuity.
It's I have the skeleton key to do whatever the fuck I kind of want to do.
Yeah. And I think
And my attitude right now is Cap on screen. It's just like, fuck's sake.
for the love of God.
The best Marvel thing right now is Rivals. So
Fair enough. And what does that tell you? It tells you that there is obviously still love for the franchise. Like people still care about
love
Marvel.
the characters.
Yeah. And I mean, like
It's not MCU. It's just Marvel.
Or you can make the argument that this was the hero shooter that we were waiting to replace Overwatch.
It's literally a hero shooter.
Yeah. Wow.
Ba-dum-bum.
All right, we got more stories to jump into. I think we've kind of covered what we wanted to with that one. So let's jump into our next story. This one's actually a big one.
Yay, it's everyone's boy crush.
It's everybody's boy crush, man love. Henry Cavill, Warhammer 40k TV series is officially announced and under development from Amazon Studios, Games Workshop, Henry Cavill. Those three together could make magic, but
Does he have to answer to like Games Workshop? Like Workshop has to like give their blessing to certain things? Because that would fucking suck.
he's an executive producer. So I've seen,
He's basically in control of the project. He's like,
yeah,
you could quantify him as like showrunner.
yeah. He's going to be heavily involved. I don't think he's going to be comfortable taking a back seat, especially if, so all of the rumors around the series were that there was hopes that the series would be a long running cinematic show / franchise, TV franchise, probably bunch of spin-offs, more characters.
Well, yeah, it's a whole goddamn universe.
Exactly.
So much to explore.
There's so much they could do.
They have like over 400 and some books in this universe.
If Amazon put their $1 billion behind this, I'd be much more excited than the Rings of
Right.
Power. So the thing is that Amazon has a reputation for really hurting large franchises. Rings of Power being the best example. I think they do fair enough by medium franchises. So I wouldn't.
Well, it's like the low budget ones, like Terminalist and Reacher.
Yeah.
It wasn't really in their zeitgeist, so it's like you guys can just do whatever the fuck you want. We don't care.
Well, and then you have what was the one I was going to point to? So I think there's probably an argument to be made against me on this one, but I think there's not a good case that you could say that the Fallout franchise is as big as the Lord of the Rings franchise.
No, definitely.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure because I wasn't going to be first off, I'm not the beloved Fallout fan. Like I don't care about Fallout that much. But if people went up to me and said it's like one of the biggest video game franchises of all time, it's beloved by everybody, even Fallout 76 fixed its bugs and Bethesda's amazing. Like if someone wanted to really swallow the boot on something, that might have been the one I was expecting it to happen on. But I think to be fair, Fallout not as popular as Lord of the Rings.
No.
So that's what I'm saying is that when I say Lord of the Rings is a bridge apart, that's what I mean. Is that Lord of the Rings was like completely wrecked by Amazon with Rings of Power. Season 3, I believe, was confirmed this week too. So
yeah. No, like we did mention it last week. I was like, oh, and Rings of Power Season 3 hasn't even been announced yet. And then you said, I think it was announced right before we started talking.
Yeah. Yep. So it was so Rings of Power is definitely going to keep going.
But yeah, with Fallout, no, it's to me, it's I wouldn't say it's as egregious as Rings of Power, but it's still kind of shit and fucks over the lore of Fallout because I'm a Fallout fan and I know a lot about it.
Well, and so Fallout, actually, we're going to be talking about this a little later. Fallout the Fallout TV series won an award for the Video Games 2024 awards.
Cool.
So we're going to be talking about that.
I only watched 2 episodes of that show. I was like, yeah, this is fucking retarded.
Yeah, I
the coincidences and the shit going on was too much for me.
Yeah. I appreciate that that's an issue you have with like storytelling. It's less of one for me because I understand
well, it's like you introduce all your main characters and then they just start randomly bumping into each other.
Yeah,
I don't like that shit.
I get it. I completely understand. In the same vein, I'm like, so we're trying to so obviously we're working on our stories with Matt, Third Party Studios is working on a bunch of projects behind the scenes. And one of our biggest issues is like, hey, how do we like tell this story in a way that like feels organic? It flows. It's true to the characters. It's a quality performance. And all of these continuity errors that keep popping up, and I'm just like, God damn it! Why is he over there? We didn't put him over there. Why is he there? It's like because that's what his character would do. Fuck! What an asshole!
Well, like the most egregious one, like when I say like bumping into each other randomly, it's like, all right. So the Brotherhood of Steel sent out to find this doctor. They're going to this city to get information and try to find him. On the way there, this one night's like, I want to shoot something, land here. And they land at the same spot that the doctor was just at.
Yeah.
Just randomly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, that's the dumbest fucking writing I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, you just missed him. He was over there.
I think he was here literally 5 minutes ago. If we just walk that way, we might catch him.
No, but we heard a clue. He's that way. Oh, do what you want.
Right.
So do what
We'll take off and I'm going to go land somewhere else and find someone else important.
So I want to just get this off my chest because this has been bugging me for months. Obviously, all we knew about Warhammer 40k's project, that Henry Cavill was kind of piloting the conversations and trying to get the ball rolling. Amazon was the likely place it was going to land, and Games Workshop was making a bunch of moves to accommodate Amazon's requests when it came to the female custodies, all the female custody retcon that they did.
Yeah, well, I would say with the news finally dropping that, like, all right, we're basically going into production or whatever, is that because Henry wouldn't make something that isn't like kind of true to the source. He'd just be like, well, fuck it, I guess we're not doing it, or I'm not doing it, you guys continue without me.
Well, and I wish
so it might be more.
Henry Cavill is the kind of person who I'd want to meet as a celebrity, not to like fanboy or anything over him, but just to actually understand where his worldview is. Like, hey, you did Witcher for 2 seasons. Did he do 3 seasons?
3. There was 3.
There was 3 seasons. I thought they replaced him is where I was getting. I thought they replaced him with someone.
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah.
It's just not out yet.
Okay, gotcha. So when he was doing that, I was like, how much did that piss you off? I mean,
He addresses like there's a YouTube short going around for a while to where he's talking about is like I can understand why people might see me as like hard to work with. Is just like because you're telling me to do something my character wouldn't fucking do.
yeah, but then he like okay,
He's
but
like
then, yeah,
very
he
true to
does-
the character and the source material, and he's always put in a position to where it's like, well, that's not what my character would do.
exactly.
You're fucking me here.
But that would be like that's the thing. Is like I want to understand like how. So obviously the show got made, and it was made in such a way that I think it was kind of mid received, right? I mean, it wasn't
Season 1
was loved.
yeah, and it got memed, so everyone knew about it.
Yep.
And I enjoyed it. I actually kind of liked it a lot. And then season 2, first episode was really good, and then it was dog shit after that. And then I didn't even watch season 3. I don't care about the show anymore.
Well, so my point being like, hey, if they were obviously not going to tell a lore accurate story, what was it like? Did you stay because it was like professionalism? Were you contractually obligated?
He signed a contract for 3 seasons to begin with.
Yeah.
And so he just didn't renew. He's like, yeah, fuck it.
Okay, so I'm just trying to be like, hey, I obviously really admire the role you play in Hollywood as an advocate for fandom. I admire that. I'm wondering how far you're going and how far you're willing to go, and like what happens behind the scenes that we as fans don't see. Like how much compromise is there in this work that you're creating, and not to call him out because he's again the biggest advocate we have for fandom in Hollywood.
Yeah, nerdum in Hollywood.
But it is one of those things where like you don't meet your heroes kind of thing. It's like I want to understand like what your fight like how hard this fight is happening.
It's like, dude, do you want to just talk about like The Witcher 3 for a while?
Yeah, it's just,
that's how the conversations would go. It'd just be like, just whatever you're probably interested in, like nerd wise. It's like, yeah, he knows about it.
yeah. Well, and obviously Warhammer's one I really want.
Like in the middle of an interview for The Witcher, him and the guy that plays Dandelion, the fucking traveling musician, they just started talking about Warhammer. It's like, hey, you want to battle sometime or whatever? It's like, yeah, we'll get together.
So with the project going though, and Henry Cavill obviously being an executive producer and playing a role in the film, he's going to be heavily financially invested into this project's success.
Yeah.
So he is going to be more invested than just a contract obligation that he has with somebody. He's going to.
I kind of want the first season to just be the Horus Heresy to like get everyone into the universe, because that happens in 30K.
No, I know it's an OG. That's an OG story reference,
right? And so you kind of get the understanding of how everything's going, and then season 2 you go 40K.
Yeah, because it would be a very very hard story to revisit. Right? It'd be a very difficult story. Like if you're telling a 40K story and then you're like, oh,
you're constantly
season 2
referencing shit from the past
that no one knows.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, Dune did that in the original series where they're referencing all these like factions and known historical things that happen, and like you turned away a lot of people who were just normies who couldn't keep up, and then even you and I were confused and just kind of realized, oh, it's a part of their universe. They're obvious. It's just good dialogue because it's a part of their universe.
Right.
They're just
talking about like talking about everything like you should know it.
Exactly.
Which makes sense.
And
instead of just being like, oh, you remember this house or this thing, and let me exposition dump on you right now.
Exactly. I would be fine if Warhammer ignored the Horus Heresy as a story to be put on screen, and just left it as this very pivotal historical reference point to be poked at. Now, at the same time, the Horus Heresy would take a fair you would probably need like a season to set up the Horus Heresy, just to fill the universe proper so that betrayal makes sense.
That's kind of true too.
So I mean, this series needs to be like a 5-season series off jump, just to like get people up to speed. But I wonder if Games Workshop is probably still going to continue to tell their new stories through books. I'm not under the impression that Games Workshop is going to use this medium to tell new stories for their franchise.
No, probably not. I
mean, it'll be a new setting, a new place, a new interaction, but it won't be like a major new story, because Games Workshop makes the majority of what it makes through miniatures and books. Yeah. So I don't see them adjusting their business model because they have a TV series.
Or is it kind of like a Star Wars like Legends? You know, there's like a shitload of random Star Wars books. Is it kind of like that where the authors like just get like some leeway?
I am not sure. So comment below if comment below to let us know what if anybody in the comments knows how that works for them licensing wise, if it's actual Games Workshop production or if it's like a co-signed work from somebody else that they just endorse as canon. Because obviously they're every time you criticize one of the story elements, like with the female custodies, they obviously had a big fight on their hands and they took it to heart. So I'm convinced that it's their productions, but I could be wrong, and I don't dig into the books. I've like gotten into the models in the game, but I have not been digging into the books.
Yeah, I started like one book a while ago, but I haven't gone back to it.
Most of my lore breakdowns come from videos. Like, I find that just to be the easiest way to absorb the medium.
Yeah, there is this one guy on YouTube, I forget his fucking name, but he has like 100 videos that are like over an hour a piece, just explaining, like he starts almost like chronologically, just going through the universe and whatnot. It's pretty good.
Well, Slim introduced me to WarHammer. WarHammer's a YouTube channel, pretty huge. I think he has a couple 100,000 subscribers, but he does these really fun, well-edited video breakdowns on canon and lore from Warhammer 40k universe. Let's read the official announcement from Henry Cavill that was posted on his Instagram. So this is brought to us by George the other day. George comments, so I really hope the Warhammer series goes on for years and has multiple seasons, because one thing you'll never see from Henry Cavill is him not being incredibly passionate towards the IPs in every project he does. Well said, George. Now,
or Jorge, you racist.
no, it's George.
Okay.
Now for Henry Cavill, oh wow, that is way too small.
That's what she said.
Okay, we'll have to blow that up.
That's also what she said.
Why can't I make you bigger?
Again.
Shut up. Shut the hell up. Okay.
That's the best it's gonna get.
We'll do our best. All right, I'll read it off for you guys. So from Henry Cavill, to celebrate some Warhammer news, I decided to make a pilgrimage to the very first place I bought Warhammer models over 30 years ago, the little shop on my home island of Jersey. It's a Jersey thing.
Not that Jersey.
It's a Jersey thing. But
it's across the pond Jersey.
It's a different Jersey, old Jersey. My incredible team and I, alongside the brilliant minds at Games Workshop, have been working away in concept rooms, breaking down approaches to the enormity of and magnificence of the Warhammer world. Together, we've been sifting through the plethora of incredible characters and poring over old tomes and texts. Our combined efforts have led us to a fantastic place to start our universe, which has been agreed upon by those up on high at both Amazon and Games Workshop. That starting place shall, for now, remain a secret. Watch this space,
you fucker.
Though more to come in time.
Where are you starting?
That kind of endorsement sounds really, really good to me. I'm kind of here for that level of just endorsement from Henry Cavill. Like, that seems really deep into it. That sounds like he's very passionate about the success that they've found in the story that they want to tell. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, and we'll have to wait a while, I expect, before we're gonna have any.
At least 2 years.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, we're not gonna see it on screen for a long time, but I'm hoping that the at least the narrative we get will be able to be broken down. You probably gain some benefit keeping that close to the chest to avoid criticism and outside influence. But I mean, I want to know, but at the same time,
I need to know.
I need some.
Tell me, baby girl. But yeah, the YouTuber I was referencing for 40k lore is Luton09.
Oh, Luton.
He's got a playlist of 158 videos about 40k lore.
Guys, go check him out.
And it's chronological too.
Go subscribe. Go check out his content. Sounds like it's a good place to get caught up.
If you have, 300 hours just sitting on your hands.
You don't?
I do, definitely.
So, okay, so final thoughts on Henry Cavill, because I would like to know, like, when it comes to the Henry Cavill and the Warhammer 40k project, I think that Amazon was probably their biggest obstacle to success with this. If Henry Cavill has found a story that he sounds excited about.
Which is kind of weird, because Amazon's got, they don't have fuck you money. They have shut the fuck up and just do what I say kind of money.
Yep.
Where it's like, you could just like throw out a random amount and be like, all right, we'll put it on our streaming service. Because Amazon, it's like a pet project. Putting out shows and whatnot. They don't need it. They don't care. It's not their source of income at all. Same with Apple.
Right.
So I don't like, remember that South Park episode where it was actually the superhero ones. And they're trying to get a deal with Netflix because Netflix was just green lighting everything.
Was that Rick and Morty or was that
No, it's South Park.
Okay, I'm with you.
It might have been the game too. I'm not even sure. But
Okay, because I don't remember this episode specifically, but it sounds like it could be in either spot, and I might have just missed it.
yeah, they're pitching to Netflix, and Netflix is like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's kind of what I picture Amazon would be like. It's like, I have infinite money. Just do what you want. If it's good and makes money, that's cool. I really don't care.
Well,
I'll be over here.
And
shipping
Amazon,
stuff.
yeah, Amazon bought a lot of goodwill from me with Has Been Hotel. Like the fact that Vivziepop was able to bring her universe from YouTube into actual cinema production on a very, very popular streaming platform, and it was done in amazing, like it was done amazingly well. I that bought a lot.
But it kills it at the same time with Rings of Power.
Exactly. It's like you have big
Ice cream
wins
in
and
one
big
hand,
losses.
shit in the other.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't know what you're gonna get.
Do you like shit on your ice cream?
I think HBO might have been a safer place to deploy this project.
I would have, because HBO knows how to make shows too.
Exactly, and they understand the value of a good show.
Mhm.
They understand it, and they want. That's all they want. They don't want low quality on their as like an HBO exclusive. Now they've to caveat they like Velma, the Cape Crusader. Like they've deployed plenty of crap.
Cape Crusader wasn't them. Well, okay, they hired Jar Jar Abrams to produce stuff. Like they gave him like a $500 million budget. It's like, hey, make stuff for us.
I
But it was so shit that they're like,
someone else take it.
Netflix, do you want this? Or whoever the fuck took it.
I was just saying that like it was on their platform, not necessarily that they produced it, but just that it.
No, they produced it. It wasn't on their platform.
Velma was.
Their money. No, Velma was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cape Crusader was not.
I gotcha. But I'm excited.
They just paid for it.
Warhammer 40k, guys. It's gonna be pretty huge. I'm optimistic. I think
if Henry gets to do what he wants to do, it'll be great.
I agree. That's gonna be what it takes. That's gonna be what it'll take to make that successful. So I think that's
Just don't fuck with him. It'll be fine.
leave Henry alone.
Right.
Leave Brittany alone. That's a
Oh, do we have to talk about this next thing?
Yeah, we have to. We got one more big topic to go into. Well, actually, hold on. We can jump to this other topic first because this one's gonna be pretty short.
Oh yeah, awards happen, guys. Did you guys know that?
So in the 2024 Game Awards have come out, and it's pretty exciting. We're just going through the Games Workshop, or the not Games Workshop, the Games Award, or the Games Awards.
Games Awards.
You know what yeah, help me.
You can drop an S wherever it tickles you.
Yeah. So the Video Game Awards 2024 have come out, and our video game of the year is a game I had not even heard of. Astrobot wins Game of the Year.
It looked fun as fuck. It's one of those PlayStation indie title.
It looked kind of Ratchet and Clanky.
Yeah.
Which I thought, oh, awesome.
It's very quirky.
Yeah. So there was so that
what was your game of the year? Have you played anything new that came out this year?
Let's see. Game of the year. I missed on Space Marines 2. I would probably my category of games, you know me. I lock into like 3 games and I just hard lock. But I would have to say that the game I was most surprised by and definitely think deserved to be up there was Black Ops 6.
Wow.
Well, keep in mind of the context, right? Black Ops 6 was
That's the most. I was not expecting that take at all.
Are you thinking like that was a really vanilla take to make Call of Duty the game of the year?
It's like, what are you, Call of Duty, bro?
No, I'm not. I'm actually the opposite. Like Black Ops 6 gave me back
Have
a
you
Call of
played the
Duty.
campaign?
Not yet.
Played zombies?
But I have not played zombies. I don't like zombies as a game mode.
I don't either. I don't care for it.
So the people who have played it told me that this is the best version of zombies and that it actually does a good job of like bringing you through it. There's a place you can leave the game, so it's not just a how high can you go game mode, which I really would probably enjoy that more. So there's a lot about it but a lot of innovation with mechanics, some good, some not so good, but they tried to give us a unique Call of Duty experience. Shit map design, but I thought all the weapon mechanics were appropriately balanced and did a good job. So I think all of that did a good job. Here's my beef. Astrobot wins Game of the Year, but the player's voice goes to Black Myth Wukong.
I knew it would be Black Myth.
So, and it was so this is just community driven. This the player's choice is not.
Well, I think the votes don't matter, and it just comes up to the decision of a single person. Kind of like the Academy Awards, to like certain people can like voice their opinion and vote, but
I'm pretty sure that, as I understood it, that it was just votes on Black Myth Wukong as player's choice.
player's choice probably, but the overall winner.
Yeah, the Astrobot winning first place this year was actually a huge surprise to me. I mean, good for them.
But go back to the game of the year. It's like, all right, so I played. Wow. All right, slow ass. You're already on it, dude. All right,
There it is.
I've played Black Myth. Wasn't really a big fan of it. I'm kind of over Souls-like
Sure.
games and whatnot. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree should not be on there because it's a fucking DLC. It's not a
Right,
game.
right.
That's bullshit.
Yep.
Final Fantasy VII, I got about 20 to 30 hours into it, and I think I'm still at the beginning. And it's good. It's all right. I think it plays better than Final Fantasy Remake. But other than that, I never finished it. And there's always like an inkling at the back of my neck. It's like, play the goddamn game. Just finish it. Get it out of your way.
Bellatra really surprised me. This was like that card trading game that you would do for like black. It's like Texas Hold'em or like a poker game, but you like do card trading and stuff. I have heard
that was nominated for Game of the Year.
Dude, I've heard so much about this game, and I have not even seen gameplay of it. Like I've heard I've seen shorts on shorts talking about like nominations for Game of the Year, talking about this one being epic. It was like an RPG slash poker slash deck building slash all these different things.
Huh.
And I had not even heard of this game until I started seeing it on YouTube Shorts prior to the Game of the Year. So I was blown away.
But yeah, then scroll down to this last one here.
Oh, yeah.
Metaphor ReFantazio is the next game from the guys that did the Persona series.
Oh, okay. I was trying to like figure that out.
And like, some people love it. Other people's are like, it's kind of heavy on some messages, bro.
Okay.
And the main character is very androgynous.
Very androgynous.
It could swing either way. I don't know if it's dude or a chick, or if it likes dudes or chicks, or whatever.
So there was another category on here I wanted to bring up. I'm looking for video game adaptation. Where are you, you son of a bitch?
What's the best RPG?
Best adaptation. Okay. Best adaptation. Fallout wins over Arcane, wins over Knuckles, and wins over... I'm not surprised by the Tomb Raider
Oh, I
one.
didn't even watch Like a Dragon Yakuza.
Yeah. So, but Fallout wins over... I mean, honestly, not like...
Arcane Season 2 sucked dick for me, so
I get it.
would rather have Fallout up there than Season 2 of Arcane.
But it seems to be the series of Arcane, not the season of Arcane.
No, it's the season because it came out this year. This is yearly.
All right. But Knuckles was insanely popular too. Like I had a bunch of normies coming to me about the Sonic stuff.
Dude, my coworker or whatever, he's got kids. He's like, we're talking about like movies coming up. Sonic 3 came up. Someone's like, oh, I haven't even watched Knuckles. And he's like, dude, it's dog shit.
Is
like,
it?
I'm going to blow my brains out if I have to put it on for my kids again.
I've heard people really talking good about it. But I was really surprised. Fallout does not feel like it belongs at the top of this list. I mean,
out of those, I would say so. Tomb Raider sucked. I didn't watch Yakuza though. And Yakuza could be a fun as fuck show.
So who do we got? We got a Sega IP with Amazon MGM Studios.
A Sega IP with Paramount Studios. A Bethesda IP with MGM Studios.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that could have been good. But I wish that I wish that Arcane had delivered a little better in season 2, but
they crammed 3 seasons into 1.
Yeah, I think they could have done it better, but I still really liked Arcane.
Because they pulled the Dumb and Dumber move, and it's like, oh, well, we got other projects we want to do, so fuck this project.
But wait a minute. You don't place Arcane season 2 above Fallout? I thought you didn't like Fallout either.
Yeah, it was more fun. Fuck Arcane season 2, dude. That was dog shit the entire time through. Like the first 3 episodes drop, you're just like, all right, maybe they'll go more into the next one, and we'll figure out what's going on. The next one drops, and same shit throughout the entire goddamn thing.
What was the one you were looking for? Best RPG you wanted to see?
Oh, check out RPG. I'm an RPG guy.
Where? Oh, I'm literally on it.
On it.
I was looking everywhere but where my mouse was. So we got Dragon's Dogma. We got Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. That's the DLC again. We got Final Fantasy in the running, Like a Dragon. And we have Metaphor.
Well, people love Infinite Wealth. And it kind of goes back, instead of being more of an action game, like the rest of the Yakuza or Like a Dragon games, this one goes to like turn-based. So I was like, kind of like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not a turn-based kind of guy.
We're kind of just exploring now, just having some fun with this. Best independent game. That makes me a little curious.
Who's independent?
So Balatro wins.
I don't know any of these.
That's the poker deck building RPG one. Yeah. Animal Well, don't recognize it. Yeah, I don't recognize most of these either. I think I heard about UFO 50, but don't recognize those projects either. Best community support. That's a huge one.
Oh,
Baldur's Gate 3 wins for a second year in a row.
Final Fantasy 7 or 14 was up there.
If that's how Roman numerals work.
That is how Roman numerals work. That's the MMORPG.
Community support. How is Helldivers 2 on this? How is Helldivers 2 on this list for community support?
Game's still great.
The community support aspect of it. Like, do you remember like all the drama that was fucking happening when they were trying to basically make it impossible for people to play on PC? They were trying to force it to be a Sony exclusive after people had already bought it.
Oh, that whole debacle. That did happen this year.
How is that on this list? It doesn't belong there. You had to almost threaten lawsuits in order for that shit to fucking be reversed.
That is insane.
Sony got their butts kicked after they backtracked on that.
I want to believe that No Man's Sky has been nominated since 2015 or 16 when the game came out.
Well,
just every year, because they have been doing nothing but like free updates and free
fixing
DLCs
it, adding it, making it better
for a decade almost.
Yeah, that's an insane one. That's insane. But Baldur's Gate 3. So the reason I love this, Baldur's Gate 3 announced the other week that they were coming up with another it's a patch. So I think it's patch 8, where they're going to be releasing a new subclass for every class in the game.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
I'm excited. I would love for them to add a DLC that gives us a little bit more to explore.
You're not gonna get it. No DLC.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is I would have loved for that to have happened. I would like for there to be an option to grow, but I get it. Like another pathway would be nice. Like just give us another unexplored area. But yeah, it would take way too much to get.
I'm surprised I haven't seen Dragon Age yet. He said sarcastically.
What else? So we got Game of the Year, best
narrative.
Best narrative. Let's
Who won that?
Of course, Metaphor wins it again over Silent Hill 2. I was kind of expecting. Slim was.
Holy shit! Senua's Saga was a fart in the fucking wind.
That's on here.
The first one people really loved. It's very artsy fartsy, and I barely even heard anything about the second one.
Right. What else do we got? Best art direction. Don't care about. That's not going to be a fair fight.
Don't care. Best performance. Who won that?
Okay, let's hit it. Oh, it's voice acting. Okay, so from Hellblade.
Okay. Yeah.
Silent Hill 2. Outlaws. Yeah. I'm sure.
That was up.
That's up there. Good job, Humberly Gonzalez. Good job.
What a shit first name.
I don't think it's her fault that Outlaws bombed.
No.
It's not her fault. She's just the voice actor. She doesn't have any control over the quality of the game or the story writing or anything.
It's not like, oh my god, that performance was amazing. This dog shit game.
Innovation in accessibility? No, that's just some bullshit. I think maybe that's it. Strategy game, I think, went to...
Most anticipated.
Strategy game went to Frostpunk 2, which is that game Slim kept singing its praises.
Ancient Mythology I've been meaning to try out.
Yeah, I don't...
People love Manor.
Manor Lords, that was actually really big on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers still play it. I was a little surprised that with that happening, with the popularity of Manor Lords on YouTube, that it didn't win. But I understand.
I hear way more about Manor Lords than Frostpunk.
Same. So that's like, just seems like in a popularity contest, that's how you'd win.
What was the most anticipated?
Most anticipated. There you go. All right, let's look for it. Grand Theft 6. It's not even going to be out for another 5 years, 10 years.
I don't understand
Wild should have won.
The world's obsession with Grand Theft Auto, to be honest.
I don't either.
It's a whatever kind of game. It's cool, fun, but the amount of obsession that's going into this, like, we need Grand Theft Auto 6. It's
like, you have Grand Theft Auto 6. It's just not
it's not that fun of a game to me.
It's really not.
Really care.
Like, I think Grand Theft Auto, I'm trying to be political on this one, a little bit like diplomatic, but people who play Grand Theft Auto are retarded.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then, because of most of the population.
That tracks. Doesn't it? No, there's just
it's like just think about how stupid your average person is. It's like, all right, now think about that person votes.
Well, think about that. That's the average. Think about half the country is dumber than that person.
All right.
So I'm being a little.
Death Stranding 2 on the Monster Hunter. I'm gonna play way
Monster
more.
Hunter. Yeah. I mean, we had Tyler come on the stream. Like Tyler on almost every stream brings up Wild Hunt or Wild Monster Hunter Wilds.
World.
Wilds. Right here.
Well, yeah, that's the one that's not out yet.
Oh.
He's bringing up World and
yeah.
And that fucking
I see your point.
one on the phone that's like Pokemon Go to the polls.
Right. Well, I thought that's what Wilds was. But I
World.
could.
Wilds World.
Which one are
Phone
you
one?
telling me
I
is
have
the
no
mobile
idea
one?
what we're doing anymore.
Which one are you telling me
Who are
is
you?
the mobile one?
I don't know.
I think it's Wilds.
No, Wilds is the one that's coming to consoles and PC and everything.
Okay.
That doesn't come out till February.
I was wrong.
I know a lot about that one.
I concede. I concede. You win.
What do you know?
What do you know? But Grand Theft Auto 6, I know that there's been a lot of demand for this. I know that there's going to be it's going to actually really mess up a lot of stuff. The community servers that Grand Theft Auto 5 has, all of the like mods that they have for the game are just they're going to have to rebuild your entire fandom again.
The amount of people throughout the nation that'll take that release date off will have an economical, quantifiable like downspin.
Yep. Take that day off. That's going to be hard.
What's the adaptation one?
That was the show. That was the TV show ones we did. I think that pretty much covers every category that I'm thinking of this year.
I don't really
think
like nothing's really coming to mind when it comes to like new games.
Best fighting. I want to see if Zero wins. Oh, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero was on the contending, but Tekken 8 just can't lose. Like Tekken can't lose a fighting competition.
Not unless Mortal Kombat drops.
Fair point. Marvel vs. Capcom. Fair enough. That's in there. Grand Blue Fantasy. It's in there. And Multiversus.
Multiversus is wild.
Have you played it? Do you know of it?
Yeah, I know of it. It's Warner Brothers and Warner Brother properties and whatever else they can license.
Mhm.
And it's Super Mario.
It's Super Smash Bros.
Super Smash Bros. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I was kind of expecting to take this. It obviously came out in big demand after it's been like almost a decade since the Budokai franchise was still going. So
Probably more than that.
yeah, so the fact that they kicked it up, it actually blew up. It was huge everywhere for a while. I haven't heard much recently, but it played really well. It was very popular, so I was expecting more. If we had given this a month, it would have been Rivals. I think Rivals is instantly going to take over.
Right.
It's going to be huge. Huge.
Over 10 million players.
All right, guys. I think it is time to move into our final story of the day. You guys have been waiting for it. Our honest review on War of the Rohirrim, the Lord of the Rings. I wouldn't call this a Lord of the Rings. Well, actually, okay. I'm being overly antagonistic, and I don't need to be. The movie's bad enough that I don't need to over dramatize it or be hyperbolic. Okay, Cody, you're gonna have to start this one off because I can't take a rational thought at this project right off the jump without organizing my thoughts better. Peter Jackson project. They bring back in who was the
Philippa Boyens.
Yep. Yes. So they have. So it definitely has.
Oh no, she didn't. No. Well, she wrote like the outline, but she wouldn't be credited for making the screenplay.
Right. So it would be it doesn't matter. It's
yeah.
We have a lot of recognizable names cast, like, and a lot of people returning from the original projects from Peter Jackson. But here's my take. I'll summarize my opinion of this movie in one sentence. Peter Jackson spent all of his talent on the first trilogy. I think The Hobbit was actual dog shit. I think The Hobbit is bad. I think it's bad in every way. I think this is worse. I think this is worse than The Hobbit.
I don't know how much he has to do with this movie, but
the fact that he attached his name to it.
I think he attached his name to it because Amazon
spit on him,
ignored him completely when it came to Rings of Power. So he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going back to Warner Brothers.
Well, and Warner Brothers seems to be on that bandwagon too, because Warner Brothers seems to be in an IP battle with Amazon for all of this, and it also can't be ignored the fact that Warner Brothers drops like House of the Dragon through HBO right in front of Rings of Power.
I like how they got a pissing battle between those two shows. It's funny.
It is. I mean, House of the Dragon could be better. Hopefully season 3 is more exciting, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's a big fuck up on that.
Okay,
But
what is
this movie? Okay, I had a lot of fun and I was bored as shit at the same time.
What was the fun part?
How dumb and ridiculous this whole fucking movie is, dude. I was laughing my ass off through multiple parts of this movie.
Yeah,
how retarded it is.
The absolute nostalgia bait that they expected fans to like get hard for. Okay, so just to clarify before we jump into this, we are spoiling. There's no way we can have an honest conversation about this movie without completely dumping on what it is and being more upfront about it. So if you are still wanting to see this in theaters, hard not recommend, But if you guys do want to go see it in theaters, we will be getting into spoilers right now. So
Yeah. Now, 2 out of 10 sucked ass.
this was a 1 out of 10. I hated this film. I hate this film. I
Yeah.
hate this movie. I hate everything about it. I don't know what there could be for redeeming qualities. Every review I've watched has given this movie somewhere in the middle, somewhere like a 5, maybe a 4, like a low end. And even the reviews that we're going to pull up on Rotten Tomatoes are pretty generous to this film. But the people I trust to review on this were singing praises about the score. I was like, dude, they just copy and pasted it. Like, it's not.
What other than the Rohan theme do you remember from music?
Nothing.
Exactly.
And dude, I actually have the soundtrack ambience tracks on my music playlist. Like, I listen to like Gondor, like get hits hard, like the soundtrack for Gondor.
Ambient music.
The ambient music for Gondor hits fucking hard. The ambient music for The Shire is is a classic go-to jam for just chilling. Like, Rohan is just banger.
So
Isengard is too much.
What's your favorite album? You know the music they play during Skyrim when you're just kind of walking around?
on Skyrim.
I used to listen to that all the time.
No, so you're not going to convince me that the score in this was impressive because it's just a copy and paste with a few minor adjustments. And it wasn't even the best version of it. Like, it's offset, like, it's too loud at parts and too quiet at others, and at no point actually builds the scene better.
Maybe they changed it just enough where they don't have to pay Howard Shore residuals.
Fair enough.
It could be that.
It could be that. But the movie starts off with a 5-minute breakdown of who Hera is and how much you're supposed to fucking love her.
Who she is, and you'll never hear about her because you weren't supposed to hear about her.
Yeah. She's apparently a very important character canonically to the universe, and the fact that her story isn't told is a tragedy, and that's what this is so important. Dude, you're told that she's the fastest rider when all of you attribute the speed to the horse. Like, Gandalf isn't the fastest rider. Shadowfax is the fastest horse. Like, you fucking ingrates. You're just trying to come up with all the things she could be best at. She's an awesome sword fighter. She's like really smart.
I will say she's probably the fastest rider because she weighs 100 pounds less than everyone else.
Soaking wet. Dude, she fucking floats. She's like, I'm so pissed that she's like described as this like amazing heroine and that nobody listens to her.
I'm just glad she she is a Mary Sue where she's like great at everything.
Yeah.
But she wasn't an annoying bitch of a Mary Sue. She was still like compassionate and cared about her family and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was like the people around her that sucked more, that just wanted to suck her feminine dick.
Everything's for her. Like, everything,
Yeah.
like, we do it for her. We banish people for her. We kill people for her. We sacrifice ourselves for her. We lose Helm's Deep for her.
It's like she's a Mary Sue because everyone else around her sucks.
Yeah. We stop killing the prisoners for her. Like, I'm so pissed at like.
We're gonna like jump around this movie quite a bit, but that just reminded me of that part where she gets kidnapped and they throw a sack on her head. And she's free. She's completely free. Hands are free, legs are free, and she's just wearing the goddamn sack.
She's a blonde who forgot to take the sack off.
And these dumb fucks, they just leave her in that tower or whatever. Not even really a tower. It's like the second floor.
With their like military plans just hanging out.
Yeah, and don't tie her up whatsoever.
It's like,
because when she finally gets there is when she takes the sack off her head, which God is so dumb.
Well, oh my God.
You're my prisoner, but I leave you completely free to roam around and do whatever you want.
So we should build a bit of a narrative structure, like break down what happens so that we can give an idea of like where we're going to critique. So the movie starts off with
Make me relive it.
The movie starts off with her being like an epic rider, and she's following the eagles, and the eagles have to be.
I didn't even realize they were the actual like big ass eagles because the scale in this movie is just wild.
It's insane. So yeah, she goes and tries to tame an eagle by giving it like a big fucking turkey leg.
She pulls out a turkey leg. That was the first laugh I had. What the fuck is that?
That was a funny moment for sure. Throws it 300 feet into the air for the eagle to catch it.
Oh yeah, she's amazing at shot put too, by the way.
And then she can't tame the eagle. Like, it's too wild and beautiful of a creature for her to tame. But she saw it, and that's what's magic. So then she goes back, and then there's like this whole big like event that's gonna happen where they called a meeting of all the people, of all the lords.
Freck called the meeting.
Frecka. Yep.
Is it Freka or
Freka.
Okay.
So Freka calls a meeting, which
It's
is
fuckface to me.
it's unheard of for a lord to call a meeting. Only the king should be allowed to call a meeting. It's not illegal though. We made sure that was.
It just it happens very rarely, but it's just weird.
It's uncommon, fact. In fact, unheard of. But then they go do the meeting, and Freka. So this part is actually the most canonically accurate.
This whole like little meeting / what happens shortly after is straight out of the book. Everything else not.
Yes, you don't see a lot of variation in this. So it's Freka says he basically challenges Helm and says that like.
Not really. It's just like, yo, my boy, your daughter, we're gonna strengthen Rohan instead of having
you be Gondor's bitch.
Yeah. Instead of being Gondor's bitch. Yeah.
That's what I'm. Yeah. So he challenges him by saying basically that he's just Gondor's lapdog and calls him out for that, and then proposes the marriage. And she's just like, no. She's like,
I don't want to marry any man. Are you implying you're a lesbian? Because you say this multiple times throughout the movie.
Guarantee it. So yeah, she's trying to like convince. So she's just not into the idea of being married. So it's basically that Disney movie Brave.
Oh,
where it's like
she's also a redhead.
Yeah, she's also a redhead and long hair. So all that good shit, you know it. So then they go through. Helm in a single punch kills Freka, but in this movie they play it off as an accident, like it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, in the book, Helm didn't give a fuck.
No, he wasn't like
fuck Freka.
He wasn't like sorry or like
pissed on his body.
Yeah, and then Wolf tries to kill the king. He's just banished for it. It's like, okay, cool,
bro. Okay, that scene, right after he kills Freka, and everyone's like drawing their swords or whatever.
Yeah,
and Helm is like, "There'll be no more blood spilt this day." Blah blah blah. And then Helm threatens Wolf 3 separate times of killing him right after that.
So yeah, the
exposition. Sword away, I'll beat your fucking head. It's like, dude, you just like, there'll be no more blood.
Then they do a time skip / montage where Wolf has been banished. He's been gone. Everything's fine.
Several seasons pass.
And then
Miranda Otto as the narrator, by the way, totally useless. Didn't need it.
That landed horribly for me. Like, so
I like her and whatnot as Eowyn, but
yeah, she's the Eowyn. She's the actor for Eowyn in the.
But they were showing everything. It's like the human brain can understand what's happening. You don't need her to tell you anything.
That was the worst part about it, is that they just kept narrating shit and giving you so much fucking exposition.
I know. I'm watching what you're watching right now, narrator.
Well,
I can understand this.
Yes, and it's but my biggest argument about the narration part was when they were telling you about Hera, because when you introduce like Gandalf, you introduce Aragorn, you introduce Theoden King, you introduce all these characters. There's no one around them sucking their dick being like, he's the best rider.
No, he's such a good king.
he's Strider. He goes around killing goblins and finding the rings.
Yeah, show, don't tell.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bad exposition. The dialogue is trash.
Dude, it is horrible. Even like we got some of these like named actors and whatnot that people recognize.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was shit.
There wasn't a good performance. I mean,
nothing. No, Brian Cox's Helm is like, did they just like wake him up straight out of bed and just like sit him up and put a mic in front of his face? It's like, hey, deliver these lines. Everyone sucked.
I don't think they even did him well. Like, but a lot of people are arguing about Helm Hammerhand being well portrayed in this. Like, oh, he is badass. He is ridiculously strong. He is doing what they're telling or what they said he was canonically doing. I was like, dude, you didn't even show him killing anybody.
Yeah,
but except the punch.
There was like odd, weird parts to where they were very afraid to show violence.
Yeah, they just show you like a limb detached laying there on the ground.
Yeah,
instead of the fight.
Like the most notable one was at the end when she choked out Wolf with a shield.
Yeah,
and then like the shield comes up in front of the camera, so it blocks his face, so you don't see him dying.
Exactly.
It's like very weird shit like that.
Well, so after Wolf is banished, they do a time skip, and then they start seeing the Oliphants, the Mumakil, floating around.
You get a rabies-induced Oliphant.
Yeah, it just kind of randomly appears, and They've noticed them on
It
patrols.
has the ability, oddly enough, to change its size at a whim.
Yeah, it gets bigger and smaller depending on what the
situation
yeah.
calls for. Yes.
So they go around and they kind of stumble across this guy, and then she runs away. Oh, this was the eagle shit at the very beginning. That pissed me off so much.
See, like, it looks pretty good
As a still frame.
But otherwise, it's like fucking 5 frames per second, and it's horrible to watch.
I mean, we have to talk about the animation for sure, because the animation is one of the big problems with this film. But she she leads the Oliphant so she has a guard who's with her, who's supposed to protect her.
Isn't it her cousin?
Yeah. And he goes to try to save her from the elephant, and then winds up needing to be saved by her, who then just has this brilliant idea to go bring the Oliphant to the Watcher, which is what you're seeing on screen here. It's that monster from the Fellowship of the Rings that was in the water in Moria.
This dude crawls over mountains.
No, it fucking doesn't. That's the
no. It's just like there's like a tunnel under the mountain that's all water. So it's like
I think in fairness, I don't know
I think it's
for
made
sure.
up bullshit.
Well,
that's my fairness.
In fairness, I think that I don't
Could there be
know if
multiple ones?
that's what I'm getting to. Is I don't know if there are multiple of these things that exist in the world. I was under the impression there was one. I was under the impression there was one. It was where it was, and now they just put a second one in here.
Have you ever heard of just one creature? There's always like spawn and whatnot.
So like, okay, but that's the point I'm getting at. So Ungoliant in the original in the original Silmarillion and in the old stories, is one of. She's from the darkness before the music, right? She's like one of the oldest creatures in existence. It predates the existence of the Valar and all of that. Well, there's a lot of like entities like that in this universe that exist, and I was
thinking more like in our actual world, but I guess it does make sense a little more in
Tolkien's. Yeah. Well, the Watcher, I was under the impression the Watcher was another one of those dark creatures that predated the music, but I could be totally wrong on that. So
the guy of the universe was like just high that day and it's like, let's just put some shit together.
We'll sprinkle a monster over here, drop a monster over here, a few over this over there.
One.
We can put the Balrogs on the planet.
You know what? Let's throw trees on his head just to make it weirder.
Yeah. So
this scene was one of the funniest parts of the fucking movie because, all right, so she's like bringing the Oliphant to the Watcher.
Yeah.
And she's at the lake and it's quiet as shit. And then all of a sudden it just pans into like 2 trees and the Oliphant's face is there. It's like, what the fuck is that?
And then it roars
this
like
20-ton fucking animal is the quietest thing I've ever heard.
It just surprises the shit out of her, and
it's dumb face. I don't know. The animation on it was like fucking retarded.
It was bad. It was really not good. But then she baits the Watcher into attacking the Oliphant, and then it swallows this elephant whole.
I don't think she really baited. It was more just like he decided to attack the big ass Oliphant.
You were the biggest thing, and something small poked me. So you look delicious.
Yeah, eats the fucking elephant, which is like, all right, either this Watcher is the size of a goddamn castle, or the Oliphant, like I said, has special properties where he can change his size at any point. And he just decided to make himself an appetizer.
It swallowed him freaking whole, guys. It just gulped the Oliphant down. It was insanely frustrating to watch.
And it was at this point that I knew.
They fucked up.
It's gonna be really fucking stupid throughout the entire thing.
So they go back to Edoras, where Helm is, and he's pissed off at the cousin for needing to be saved and not saving his daughter. Banishes him.
Oh my god, yeah, he goes on this fucking rant that's like just admonishing this her cousin.
This is like a hero and family, like an actual strong dude.
And he's basically like disowns, like you're almost pretty much exiled.
Yeah. That was insane. And then
no, that was after she got kidnapped is when that went down.
Right. Okay, yeah, okay.
So more shit happened.
Course correct. Course correct. So after the Oliphant is killed, she gets kidnapped immediately. Like they were just there.
the animation of him like running up and just slamming the sack on her face is hilarious.
Yeah, and it's the guy on the right in this shot. This is the guy we have to like.
He's the best character and the most pointless character.
He's the best and the most pointless at the same time. So he goes on and kidnaps her, brings her to a castle. Or no, brings her to Isengard.
Yeah, it's Isengard.
So they
what the fuck? Because Saruman is in this movie.
Yes.
What the hell is he doing? He's just sitting in that tower. Does he not have Or is he not stationed?
He
at
might be in
Isengard at that
Rivendell
point?
as part of like the Council of Elrond, like because I'm pretty sure they had the White Council before.
How
He was captain of
long
the
does
King of-
this story take place before Fellowship?
200 years is what they
Okay.
said in the narrative, but I don't know what the appendices
say in this
actually said.
movie?
Yeah, yep. Somewhere in the dialogue in the beginning, they said 200 years or so before the ring ever came to Middle Earth or whatever. So I'm butchering it, but that
Right.
yes, the answer is yes. They did put that
Before
in
that
here.
Fucking Hobbit stole it.
Yeah. Oh, before the ring ever came to Bilbo Baggins, is what they said.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
So they did drop that little nugget in there.
Yeah.
But then she's freed from Isengard. She goes straight back to Edoras and is telling him he's got an army and shit.
Okay, yeah, but how does she escape from Isengard? That's another fucking
Her
weird
cousin saves her.
No, that fucking Shield Maiden, which they go on about multiple times throughout this movie, about the
Yep.
Shield Maidens.
Yep.
I don't know if that's an actual like canonical thing. I doubt it, but
I think they did. They referenced the Shield Maidens in Eowyn's story.
yeah.
she-
But they referenced it multiple times, and this is like when all the men were dead or whatever, the women took up and drove out the whatever.
and they became like a faction. It's like
Right,
well,
they got their own like fucking crest and whatnot.
yeah,
But that's Shield Maiden bitch basically just walks up to wherever she's at and is like, "Hey, we gotta go."
exactly.
And it's like, "You want to jump out that window there?"
Just holds him off for a minute. Just holds. And so yeah, the Shield Maiden is actually an annoying ass character in this.
She is the girl boss.
She's the love interest.
Yeah, Hera, the main character, is Mary Sue. The Shield Maiden is the girl boss.
Yeah, absolutely. They escape. They go back to Edoras. Then the
Then
cousin
you
is
get the-
rebuked,
Yeah,
and
which didn't deserve
Spanish.
whatsoever. It
No.
was almost kind of like harkens back to when Aemir gets like banished or whatever,
Yeah.
and then he comes back and saves Day, which this fucking dude does the same shit.
yeah, it's rip off.
It's like, dude, why not just watch Helm's Deep at this point?
Exactly. Well, then you got so Wolf and his general go and actually attack Edoras. They come with an army of exactly 80 people.
Dude, yeah, those white shots were hilarious.
So
Like, oh my god, he's got this huge army in the white shot. And it's like, you couldn't just draw people that didn't even move?
yeah, it was a tiny little army, but it was like they were all marching to their death. And they had they at least drew twice the amount of horses that army had, and they were like
You
all
just like see little flickers and then stuff hanging around them. It's like, I didn't know everyone had green fire, by the way. I don't know.
Nah,
It was weird
it's
color.
yeah. There was a lot of neon in that shot for sure.
The
but-
fire. I was actually laughing. I was paying particular attention. I don't know why.
Can I say
To how they were doing fire in this.
Yep.
And it was like,
it's
in
bad?
some shots, yeah, it is the most. It's dimmer than just
The environment around it.
it.
it's darker than
It's
the
like, that's the most muted fire I've ever seen in my life.
So they go onto the battlefield, and at this point, Hera figures out they've been betrayed by one of their commanders, lord generals, dudes, whatever, and the city's going to be attacked from its flank, from a different position, and they're going to use elephants. They're going to use Olifants to tear down the city.
Which doesn't make sense. You're trying to like become king, whatever, / get your revenge, and it's like, well, while that fight's going over here, we're just gonna stampede and run right through that fucking capital. It's like, all right, cool. You want to be the king of ashes or whatever the fuck?
So in fairness, it seemed to be the case that the
It's like,
Olifants
whoever
were going
gets
to
to
be.
the capital first becomes king.
I have the king. I have the crown. I have the king.
I won the race.
He's to be fair, I think the plan was just to break down the gates and one segment of fence, and then just see where it goes. You know, I mean,
Oh,
they still have to kill the king. So-
that is the first time I heard you laugh in that movie too. Is when they're like pouring oil on the wall and then just light it up right in front.
oh
of
yeah,
their faces.
yes.
It's like, are we supposed to go down with it?
To prevent the Olifant. So for clarification, to prevent the Olifant from just knocking over the gate, they poured a casket of oil onto the wooden walls of the gate, and they were all standing there in the puddle of oil and dropped a fucking torch onto it and lit themselves on
Light it
fire.
up.
But for the sheer power of editing, they did not burst into flame immediately. And then they all
It's such a weird shot because yeah, they show this like almost uncontrollable fire, and she's just standing there with a hand over her face, like, "Oh my god,
It's toasty. It's
This
a,
fire came out of nowhere."
it's a little warm. So then she kills the first Olifant trying to charge the gate. The brother kills a second.
the older one, yeah.
Yep, kills a second one.
Basically does Legolas shit.
Yep.
Takes down an Oliphant. right in front of the what would be like that central building or whatever.
Yeah, the Capitol, the hall, the Great Hall.
Yeah, the Great Hall.
Yep.
It comes off its head. It's like, yeah, I'm awesome. Go Rohan. The fucking arrow, right?
Arrow shoots him right in the side of his neck, and he just goes down. And it's like, and everyone's looking at this like Hera wouldn't have been cheering prematurely. Like, you still gotta
celebrate too early.
Yeah, you're still losing this fucking war. It's like, what are you doing? You're still losing. Get on with it. Like, get back to fighting. But yeah, he gets arrow right to the neck. This doesn't. So another Mary Sue aspect was, so she keeps being right about shit.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
the problem. And the men don't listen to her. The men don't listen to her about banishing Wolf, about banishing her cousin. And then her brother goes to war.
Reinforcements.
Yeah, her brother goes to war on a friggin' like ancient donkey.
Oh yeah, this
rides to battle.
That was fucking hilarious. It's like let's give our retarded little brother loot playing fuck like a consolation prize of a horse.
Is the oldest and most decrepit horse in all of Rohan.
It's not like he's the prince or anything.
He's like, it's my favorite horse.
He's like, yeah, cool. You can play with her after the fucking war.
Well, and that leads to his ultimate demise, because when they're evacuating the city and fleeing, the older brother having already been killed by a random arrow flying through his neck when he's celebrating, the younger...
I think Wolf fired it.
No, he did. Yeah, that's confirmed. Yep. But the younger brother is now on a horse that is just too tuckered.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you later.
It's a tuckered horse. Horse gives up.
This horse is having a goddamn stroke.
The horse gives up, is panting, just stops running, and the guy's just like, "It's okay, sweetheart. You did your best. I'm just gonna die now."
Yeah, we're both gonna die now. You old bitch.
Presumably fires at least one shot from his arrow before being captured immediately.
Do you think he would have just died at that point, like going down fighting?
It was bad.
But no, I guess ropes matter now.
So he was captured.
Tie down.
Yeah, he was captured. Where was his bag over his head? So
he's a white male. He doesn't need one.
He was captured, taken to. So all of them evacuated to Helm's Deep.
It's the Hornburg.
The Hornburg. At this point in time, it's the Hornburg.
They have a very Rey moment at the end of the movie.
Yeah, Skywalker. But yeah, they go to the Hornburg, and Helm and Hera are standing there on the walkway, and Wolf, the main villain, the character you're seeing on screen right now, him, his general, and the newly captured son are there, and he's threatening to execute the son, and Helm's ready to just like, I'm done. Just don't kill him.
Right.
Like, you win, dude.
The Wolf is gonna execute him, and white-haired dude is like, hey, maybe this ain't the best idea. And this is like happens multiple times throughout the movie, to where it's like that dude's the voice of reason, and then he goes against him. So ultimately being a just pointless character.
Almost every dialogue scene between these two characters results in the white-haired guy giving relatively decent and respectable advice, and Wolf just being like, fuck you!
Nah, fuck that. I'm a bad person. He basically says that too by the end of the movie. It's like, I'm just bad.
This is where the movie gets insanely slow. This is where everything dials down to a grind.
The whole thing at the Hornburg.
Yeah,
I was passing out. I was passing out during the fight with the troll.
Yeah,
I was like, this is so goddamn boring. I'm gonna go pee.
Everything at this point just grinds to an immediate halt. Wolf kills the youngest son, guaranteeing
he slits his throat right there. And it's like, all right, cool. Leverage is gone. What'd you bring him there just to kill him?
Yeah, exactly. So
he's so inefficient.
It was bad. So Helm and Hera retreat into Helm's Deep, and they don't have enough food for the winter. And then they eventually find out they have enough food for the winter. That ends up.
Like, was that ever resolved? It's just
it's
like,
just an empty plot hole.
We don't have enough fuel for the fires. And it's like
the whole winter they have fire.
We're gonna burn your little brother's fucking harp.
Yep. So they have to burn everything, but they run out of
everything works out pretty much.
Yeah. Well, the funniest part of the entire movie for me was they go, oh, you know exactly where I'm going with this. We scoured for a photo of this bitch. Okay, so the Hornburg has a.
Imagine the crypt keeper.
I scoured looking for any shot I could of this woman, but in the Hornburg they have a keeper of the basically a scepter who like manages the keep and runs everything, and she's
in a managerial position.
Yeah, she's very protective over like garbage, and it's like old garbagey torn clothes. They're like very precious to her. And she did a really bad job of managing the resources that
might
this
have
place
been
would
the
have.
worst voice acting was her character.
Oh, bad. She sounded like okay, so the thing that's funny about her is that she both looks and sounds like the witch from Rick and Morty during the sun, like the whole era, like King of the Sun arc. And she walks up and she's like, "You cannot touch that. It's a relic from times forgotten." And it just reminded me of when the witch woman comes in Rick and Morty and she's like, "I see the fortune in the bones." And I just died. I laughed out loud in the theater.
2 seconds later, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a cold winter or some shit. It's like, I feel it in my bones.
Yeah, she says that, and I'm just like, oh my god, she said the thing. I died, guys. It was the funniest fucking moment of the entire film.
Oh my
it was the
God.
only thing I could possibly equate to entertainment.
I feel it in my bones.
It was so funny, guys. I can't.
What was that one shot? This one had been later in the movie. It was
catch my breath.
she was saying something like ominous or whatever, and then Shield Maiden bitch is like, who says that? She's like, I do, and it zooms in really close to her face. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I don't think this woman was put in there for comic relief, but that's all she ended up being.
Oh my
It
god.
was just this stupid character.
We're doing perfect impressions, by the way.
We are. We're nailing this shit. We are we could have voice acted this character to be that person.
Easy.
We could have voice acted the voice actor. We nailed this shit. We're crushing it.
But yeah, they spend like a fuckload of time at the Hornburg. Basically, Numbnuts Wolf is building this insane goddamn siege tower. It is the most impressively over-engineered thing I've ever seen in medieval times in my life.
Yeah. Did they have siege towers before they had ladders?
I was just saying, you could just like, you could almost just build a ladder, a really, really, really like wide one.
You could have built like 20 ladders and you just win.
No.
You just-
With the amount of wood and shit that they use, they could have built thousands of ladders.
they could have rebuilt Edoras twice. The amount of this thing was
They could have just
impressive.
built a city outside of there.
Just so you guys understand, like trying to give you guys a visual here, like close your eyes and follow along with us as we
Imagine
describe.
the Burj Khalifa is a siege tower, and it falls over to make a bridge.
Don't tell the next part yet. Save this for a minute because this part's gonna hit hard a little bit later. But yeah, the siege tower was constructed such that at its peak was taller than the Hornburg. It was
By multitudes.
by multitudes. It dwarfed the wall significantly. And then, so yes, we will get to that a little bit closer to that scene, but we have to
We're gonna have to chill around Helm for a while in the winter.
So this is both the most boring and also the most like fair to Helm that they've done.
Somewhat accurate.
There's a billion things to complain about with it, like the fact that he is sick at the moment that they start all dying, like he's just laying in his bed.
So she does say, the old crypt keeper lady, she's like,
It's like melancholy.
physically he's healed all the way, but his mind is broken.
Exactly. And then Hera's just like falls asleep in the blistering cold, like with resting her head on him, and then doesn't realize that he just like fucking dipped.
He just dips.
This guy's a mountain of a person. This guy's huge. There's no way she didn't fucking realize that her pillow just walked off.
Exactly, she was laying on him somewhere.
Yeah, her head would have fallen onto solid stone. It's like it's a stone bed. It's like it would have just fallen right onto rock. But then
Head falls and a piece of hay goes up her nose.
so yeah, then she goes looking for him, and apparently Helm is just like knocking dudes out, just absolutely finds a secret escape patch from within the Hornburg and goes out and just starts murdering people, which is true. That is how they were doing. That is how his character works in the appendices.
He's like a specter.
But the most exciting part of all of that is completely vanished because they don't show him killing anybody.
No, it's just like a random blood puddle here or there, and then a figure in the
night.
figure in the back with like flowing hair and a beard. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and then you
It's
go.
so much fun.
Hera thinks that she found him and follows out through the secret passage that she just kind of discovers.
Oh yeah, she leaned on a wall and then floop.
And then it's apparently the most airtight, but also the most mobile stone in the world, such that she was yelling for help through exactly 1 inch of stone, and nobody.
It's like she was searching for a draft and then found it, flew through this wall, and then the draft sealed up.
And it all became solid stone again. because no one could fucking hear her.
No.
She was screaming at the top of her little.
Stone doesn't echo in an empty place at all.
Exactly. So she goes out and leaves through the hole, and there are orcs here. Let me just clarify the stupidity of this scene. It was only there for member berries and nostalgia bait. You were supposed to, as the viewer,
For multiple reasons, because the actors too.
well, yeah. Give me, let me run with this for a second, but then I want you to cover that part. The orcs are there outside of this hole, collecting rings from the dead bodies of all of these, all of the Dunlendings that were besieging them, and it's because
We're gonna find every ring.
we're gonna find all the rings and we have bring them back to to Mordor. Why does Mordor need rings? We'll find out soon. And so it's all bullshit. You're supposed to, as the audience, like they dangling this carrot in front of you. Look, rings. Look, orcs. These are all things you're supposed to remember and love, right? And then
You know what I'm referencing?
Wink.
Wink.
So yeah, go ahead and like the actors who play them, go ahead and punch it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Billy Boyd and fucking Dominic Monaghan, marrying Pippin.
Yeah, those voice actors playing the fucking roles of the orcs. Helm runs in.
I saw Billy Boyd in the cast before we went to see this movie. I'm like, all right, cool. He actually might drop a sick fucking song because he does that.
He's a
shit.
beautiful singer. He's an amazing singer.
Nope, they're just two fucking random orcs.
Yeah, and then the troll that they have to fight. And so
Troll!
Helm just one taps both of the
Dude,
orcs.
this guy's going fisticuffs with the troll for 2 minutes while Hera's doing something. I don't know.
She's hiding. She's hiding,
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. Right? She's not a great fighter until later.
Yeah.
But and every other moment she's a great fighter. But so she goes to.
But fisticuffs with the troll.
We got Chalksmack in the chat. Whole idiotic movie is nostalgia bait, member berries, and pandering to modern audience. No shit. It was absolutely all that. That was all it was. Like, if you wanted to go and watch a movie about the Rohirrim, Helm's Deep is a better story. It's better done. And this movie, you could make an argument can be made that they tried to do good faith to Helm Hammerhand in this. I think they tried their hardest. I think the
No, they didn't try their hardest. They're like, what's the bare minimum that we can do?
Okay, good point. Good correction. Yeah, I think they did the bare minimum on that because you're right. And I think they
'Cause if they tried their hardest, then it would have been a faithful adaptation.
right. They checked the boxes. I guess is right. They checked the boxes. They had him doing the thing in the middle of the night in the winter, going off and killing people and all that shit. Okay, so then Hera has to save Helm from the troll by just headshots only.
That was another checkbox, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like she has to.
Save Helm. Yep. Because he can't take down the troll with only his bare fists,
Fisties.
despite being actually like
Just
OP.
murking dudes.
Yeah.
Just taking dudes' heads off.
So the troll roars, and that draws the Dunlendings in, and then so now they have to run to the gate.
This is when I took a piss. Because
All right, let me cook then. So like
It's like, I don't care. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom way sometime.
the troll runs, or the troll roars, baits all the Dunlendings up to that hillside, and so Helm and Hera have to make a beeline.
Okay, and that's why they were running from it when I came back.
Yep, they had to make a beeline straight for the gate.
Yeah.
And okay, the gate now it doesn't work.
Oh, BT dubs. I don't know why I noticed this, but like the walkway going up to the gate, they shaped it differently for some goddamn reason. It's more like an S.
Yeah,
than it is like a U.
It's a little bit of like artistic failure on that part of like representation.
Because there's like you have plenty of
source material to pull from. Yeah,
I don't know how you make it that way or why you even do it that way.
So here's the shit part. Like Helm has to sacrifice himself for no fucking reason. So the gate fails to open, and then they have a mechanism.
It's frozen.
They have a mechanism to wedge this thing open, like a gear that pulls the gate, like opens the gate, and it just fails and just flies back shut. And then they pull it open with their hands.
Oh yeah.
They just pry it open. Like that is the
human
worst.
Body is way stronger.
That's
than
the worst gate
we can create.
That's the worst gate you could possibly create for a castle. Is one that could just be opened. It's like they just pull on it.
Pulled by the strength of a toddler.
So Helm pushes Hera into the crack that they create by pulling it open,
and then they just stop pulling.
Yeah, they just give up.
I guess it's time.
We don't need to open the gate for Helm. He's only our king. Let him die.
Yeah.
So they do.
Some old fuck. Who cares?
They did. So let me also pull up the artwork for it. So this art.
That's great.
This art is from. I don't remember the original source, but basically there are a very small handful of artists who are accredited with the like cover art for some of the best books that have come out since the Silmarillion and all the like extra books that have come out. So I believe this is actually a produced work from them, and that's what they were supposed to try to create in the scene with Helm Hammerhand fighting at the gate of Helm's Deep off against all these Dunlendings that were just attacking him, and then he freezes solid. They have him doing like the All Might pose from My Hero Academia with his fist in the air and just holding his fist up in the air, frozen solid.
It looks retarded.
It looks so goofy.
Everything's frozen, and then he's got a few like hairs flowing in the wind.
Yeah, you got this badass shot here, and they're like, not that.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have his fist in the air. It's not defiant enough. Like, fuck, what are you talking about? So it was this scene, but really cartoonized and bad, and his fist is just up in the air. It was stupid. It looked really gimmicky. So then it just basically boils down to running out the rest of the clock. Like, Hera is like coming up with an idea about like how to free them. And
meanwhile, building tower.
Yeah. Wolf and his advisor are both like having a bunch of conversations about like, this is taking too long. It's costing too much money.
I think they're jilted lovers, maybe. That's why he doesn't listen to him ever.
Maybe. But every single piece of relatively good advice that's being given to Wolf is being completely neglected.
This is the most, okay. Wolf is the most like basic ass
villain.
He's villain incarnate, basically. It's like, I just want revenge. This woman didn't accept my proposal, so therefore I must murder her and her entire family.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys, that at the end, when Helm passes away, like when Helm dies and he's frozen solid on the walkway, they have won the war by every conceivable
it's
metric.
Over then. Now there's just a bunch of civilians just chilling in a place that you want to.
Yeah, and the daughter that you just want to kill because you were like rejected one time.
Right. We don't have to continue the siege. You could just like wait until she leaves.
Yeah. I mean, what's she gonna do?
You just like, go back to Edoras.
You don't even believe she could be queen. What do you care? It's like, you don't even think she can rule. So like, she's not a threat to you. So yeah, he's being advised to just abandon the siege. Now Helm's dead. There's no reason to stay. He doubles down. He's like, no, you all are going to get paid because there's money in that fucking castle. So get back to work. And he's just lying to all of his fucking soldiers. That never comes back to bite him.
Say he actually ends up victorious, so he gets killed by his own army basically after that.
Yeah,
there is no through game here.
There's so many plot moments that never never get readdressed. That's one of them.
Well, he dies, so I guess the other dudes would just be like, all right, cool, fuck that kid.
Right, but yeah, so he never answers for the gold thing, I guess. It's like, his people don't turn on him. His people don't abandon the siege. They just lose. So I mean, like, there's no repercussion for him like lying to his soldiers. Right. It just was never addressed in any meaningful way. So yeah, so you get to the point. Now it's time for the siege. Now this was like the moment I wanted to save because this is my second favorite part of the whole film. Now the siege is beginning. I'm gonna completely ignore the part about about how she climbs a fucking wall or a mountain of ice.
Oh yeah, dude. I was like, what the fuck is this, Modern Warfare 2?
we're gonna ignore that. Basically to summarize it and then just to move past as fast as I can on that part.
Climbs up a mountain, talks to an eagle. Eagles speak English, by the way. They don't talk, they can understand it.
Yep.
All right, cool. Fuck ever. Eagle goes out and basically delivers message to her cousin that is basically Aemir in this movie and has a bunch of riders.
Well, and there's no reason for the eagle to help them over, say, like...
Eagles don't give a fuck. Basically, they're like, all right, this is like some world-ending shit. Maybe now I'll intervene. Yeah. Not a random skirmish about...
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. So... she goes, climbs up. Yeah, that's over. We're done with that. Moving on. Now the siege has begun. They have finished their tower. And this is the most convoluted fucking tower. You described this better than I could. I will let you run with this if you want to, because this one's all you. If you.
Well, yeah, I was saying, yeah, it's the most over-engineered thing you've ever seen in your fucking life. Like, it took a forest to build this goddamn thing. It stands like 3 times as tall as the walls of fucking Helm's Deep, and actually, like, they were raising parts of it, like the drummer.
It kept
for
going.
Some reason, there's a goddamn drummer on top of it. It's just drumming along, and they keep raising it, and they just tip the fucking thing over. and make the most ridiculous bridge I've ever seen in my life.
Just knocked over one of this tower of wood. And the fact that the wood landed with that much force and weight and didn't immediately blow into pieces because it's all
it
just
didn't
wood.
break off the wall.
Yeah,
Slide
it's
down
just a
it.
giant piece of wood. Are you gonna talk about the drummer?
Well, that actually might be my favorite character.
You want me to run it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the siege begins and you see this war drummer and you get excited, you get a little hyped about it. Okay, cool. So the war drummer's like banging away, and you're like, oh, I wonder where he's at right now because you're not really seeing him anywhere. And the tower starts to rise, and then you realize, oh, he's on top of the tower. He's like at the very peak. He's up there. He's got a war drum. He's just having a great time. It's tall enough that no one can fucking hear the war drum from down below, but he's just banging away, having the time of his life. This dude's living his best world. So then the tower starts to tip and fall. He's still banging, and then the tower lands, propels him forward off screen, presumably straight into the wall of rock, and becomes a splatter.
Dude, I was just thinking of, for some reason, that dude reminded me of Mad Max Fury Road. Just one of those dispendable dudes that just sprays paint in his face. It was like, it
was so nuts. It was
witness me, and then just splat against the wall.
Then you move on to the battle between. So then the siege happens. They start running up the walkway.
The dress.
Yep. I'm ignoring the dress again entirely. There's so much about this that can be ignored.
It represents fuck marriage.
Yeah.
That's the entire point of this.
Exactly. The wedding dress is like, I'm not married. You wanted a bride.
I don't want to marry any man.
I'm gonna show you a bride.
It's not anyone.
So
man, I'm gonna marry my shield maiden.
So she runs her horse down the newly constructed
insane bridge.
Yeah, the newly constructed wood bridge, and goes and attacks Wolf, and obviously moves past an entire army without issue.
Right.
And then challenges him. It's like, you wouldn't fight a girl. So it's like, you think
you want to punch a guy with glasses, would you? You want to fight a girl?
If you don't fight a woman, your whole army's gonna think you're a pussy.
Yeah, I showed you. If I win, your whole army leaves. It's like, why would the army even fucking agree to that?
Yeah,
they'd be like, no, I was told there's gold in there.
Yeah,
I want the goddamn gold.
Yeah, and
I'm not just gonna leave because some dude loses.
Well, and so then they fight. He starts to lose pretty badly, embarrassingly. He loses this fight,
dude.
Six times.
I was gonna say, yeah. It's just there's a beginning and ending to this fight multiple times.
Yeah. So they fight on the bridge. He loses. They fight at the base of the bridge.
He loses.
He desperately is like, I give up. Then he pulls out a dagger and then he dies. He's a bitch.
Oh, favorite character though, white-haired man.
Yeah, white-haired guy.
Before this duel, he's like, you shouldn't take the bait. This is kind of retarded. Why are we considering this?
Yep.
And then Wolf, young asshole here, says some really fucking retarded line.
No, you're flip-flopping. So you're right. He says there's no reason to take this fight. Then they fight. He loses and he's like, you need to keep your word. He's like, you need to keep your word. And then he's like, men who there's no
honorable
honor.
And dishonorable men, they all bleed the same. It's and he stabs fucking second lieutenant guy that was right this entire goddamn time.
Every single dialogue between these two, he's just saying no to him. It's like an RPG with a good dialogue tree.
It's like, I don't want to take this quest. No, stop asking me.
And then he finally gets the opportunity to be have a redemption, become a decent person. And the guy's like, no, there's no honor in this. And he's like, fucking deletes the cutscene, just stabs the guy, and he just dies.
Dishonorable men, they'll bleed the same. It's like, what does that even fucking mean? That's not profound.
Oh my god. So
it's like I like the fucking phrase. It's like, characters are only as smart as their writers.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so the writer was a make-a-wish. This is fucking retarded.
This is so bad. Oh, so he loses the fight.
He fights and dies multiple times.
He fights and dies. Then you have her cousin shows up, saves the day, and then because Hera says so, he doesn't kill any of he stops attacking, lets them all go home and escape.
Yeah.
Assuming that's what's gonna happen. Because again, there's only 50 horses and 30 dudes. This was the smallest siege ever.
It was wild. Yeah, well, and you had the shield maiden while the duel is going on. Fighting against horde of guys coming up the fucking bridge, and then she makes it. I don't know how.
I was gonna be like, it would be much more impressive if it was a large amount of guys. I mean, it's most of them at a time, but it was very.
Yeah, no, the scaling in this movie goes back and forth so much. It's like, all right, we got a shitload of people. Now we only have 5.
So then you get to the king is crowned. It's her cousin becomes king. She doesn't want to be a ruler, but the cousin's like, you should be the ruler because you hid behind a wall for a whole winter. It's like did nothing. But then so it's just a bunch of like,
I don't want to be king. I got this message. And this is one of the 3 things that pissed me off the most because we skipped 2 of them.
right.
She's going to go on an adventure because she got a message from who?
Gandalf.
Of course, Gandalf. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you want to help me find these rings or whatever?
I half hoped they were going to redeem that moment by just not name dropping him. And then they like, here's the letter. It's Gandalf.
Well, it's like they can because they have the rights. Where Rings of Power couldn't until the 2nd season when they paid for
Yep.
having
Access
the
to
name
Gandalf's name. The stranger. What
It's
a
like, oh
fucking
my
joke.
god. So
So-
she's gonna go hang out with Gandalf, and the reason like Philippa and these people wanted this story or whatever, it's like it's a self-contained story. And then at the end, it's like we're gonna go adventuring with Gandalf. Well, you just made it a non-contained story.
Yep, exactly. So it's okay. So we've gotten through the breakdown of the film. We've gone almost scene by
That
scene.
was one of the worst moments. Another one, they tried to redo Ride of the Rohirrim.
Yeah. Can I take that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ride of the Rohirrim, if you've watched previous episodes of the podcast, you know is like the most powerful moment in the entirety of cinema for me. I have spoken multiple times about the video you could find on YouTube of Tolkien, J.R. Tolkien, actually reading
Reading it.
that passage on the radio. And while he's reading that passage on the radio, you're actually watching a muted, like a muted version of the scene, Ride of the Rohirrim from Return of the King. And it's one of the most beautiful moments in all of writing, and it's such power. It's so powerful. Well, the reason in Return of the King that they're all yelling death, death, like ride for Rohan, like they're all charging or
Ride
like
for ruin.
ride for ruin and the world ending, and then they just yell
Scream
death,
death,
3
yeah.
times. Like the reason they're doing that is because the army of orcs is approximately 80,000 orcs, and
there's 6,000.
they're 6,000 deep. Yeah,
They're
they have
riding to their death.
death. Exactly. In the battle outside of Edoras, they also are chanting death. That's their war cry in this. I was like, you motherfucker, how dare you do that shit to me?
Like, Master the Rohirrim.
Yeah, they were just like really overplaying the severity of the fight they believed they were in.
Right.
I mean, obviously it was a bigger scene and a bigger siege than they believed, but they were really, really trying to oversell it. And it was,
It was very nostalgia baity.
well, I was just pissed. I was just offended. But yeah, they were trying to be like, look how the Rohirrim do their battles, and it's like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, another one.
That was my biggest offense I took from the whole thing. That was like I flipped off the screen. I was
Yeah, that's right.
I flipped off the screen. That was
As soon as he said death, middle finger went up.
I was pissed, dude. That was of every offense this movie lays on
I
me.
was just shaking my head. It's like that you don't deserve this at all.
At every offense this movie laid on me, that was the moment all good faith was out the window. Like I was trying. After that, it all became academic, and I was just trying to like break down the film. But I was pissed. I never got over that. And I
Yeah.
never will.
Another one that really pissed me off was I think it was when Helm died, or was it when Helm died? And they started that song that Eowyn sang.
Oh yeah,
For Theoden's son.
yeah. The funeral
It's
rite.
like, you do not deserve that song. Helm probably deserves it, but the movie does not deserve it.
No.
At all. And I actually really like that song. And I've heard people bitch about that in OT.
So
It's like she just starts singing the song. It's like
So you-
it's a good moment. It's a
You
beautiful
covered
moment.
the song, the ride of the Rohirrim, the charge, and Gandalf being name dropped
Those
at
might
the
be
end.
the most offensive, is what I'm saying. It's like you don't deserve any of these.
Yeah, to me it's definitely the Ride of the Rohirrim. Number 1 pissed me off the most. I think that what they did with the artwork for Helm Hammerhand with his like being frozen pose,
yeah.
because it's like
Turn it into kind of a joke. To
yeah,
be
you
honest.
made that into an absolute joke. I think those 2 are the biggest ones. I think the Watcher beyond the Watcher was also, and I might just be standing on loose gravel with that one because it's possible there are more of them and I just don't remember.
Well, I was listening to FNT and Gary from Neurotic was like, apparently these guys can just teleport or whatever, because like he doesn't mention that there are multiple ones. He's very affluent in Tolkien's world and whatnot. So.
Right. Well, and so like so those are my big issues with this one. Those are the ones that bother me the most.
The Oliphaunts are fucking hilarious to me, though.
Let's talk about the movie, like the actual cinematic elements of this, like the sound. So you recycle the sound from the Peter Jackson trilogy, and I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Well, people are saying like, "Oh, it sounds so good." I was like, "I'm supposed to be impressed. You just recycled it."
Right.
Like
like the screen could be black, and you could just be like, "Throw on my soundtrack from the King."
Yeah, if anything, I'd give that like a 4 for unoriginality.
Right.
Like for being unoriginal. Then you have the actual art, which you were about to touch on earlier, but I think I stopped you.
Yeah.
The animation.
I will say, okay, the animation itself is dog shit. It's the background that I actually really like. It's like it just forget the foreground and look towards the back.
Yeah.
Like every shot is great that wise. But the animation is so like jumpy and jittery because it is like it is literally almost 5 frames per second. Well, it's insane.
Well, even normies ignoring it actually pisses me off more. It's like, how did you like
the way people walk, like especially in the console, it's so just like
or CGI, like bad CGI,
and just like the way they turn is so like so slow and whatnot. It's just it's weird.
And we can accredit the bad animation to the fact they had multiple studios all working together on this project.
Yeah, I don't know about the art department in this one.
Well, so it was several studios that were all collaborating to make this project. So there was probably a lot of disjointed like.
So one studio is like having the time of their life, just making backgrounds and whatnot.
Yeah. So here, I mean, you could take almost any freeze frame from this movie and say, "Oh, it's an anime."
Just keep scrolling through them. I want to see.
Well, oh yeah. So yeah, we'll go back to yep. Oh, I know what you were. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, on the gallery.
We'll start here. Yeah. So you could take almost any freeze frame from this, and you could find some like you could appreciate it as anime. Good. But if you start moving the screen, I mean, look at this shot. So like the guys on the left here, this is the fire Cody's talking about, where it's so freaking dim. And then these are like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Double that behind here, maybe 30. Maybe 30 something soldiers here.
Well, there's like one shot. Elephant. There's like one shot where they show a shitload of people, and then every other shot that shows like armies in the distance, it was like 5, 10 people.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's not good. Yes, but you could scroll through this and you could be like, "Oh, that's actually good anime art." As soon as the screen starts to become alive and start moving, you notice the jittering, and you can't unnotice it if you're aware of that stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, even normies who like most normies don't like anime, like at least in my experience. But if
I mean, that's just art. I mean, look at it. It looks good. It's very detailed.
Yeah, but if you're someone who appreciates anime, you're not going to be able to unsee that jitter.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Oh, dude, the animation's horrible.
So that's, I mean. So it's
but yeah, the outdoor environments and like when you get like this grandscaping shot,
yeah,
and it's like the background's fine because it doesn't fucking move.
Right.
It looks insane, and it was actually kind of cool to see that on a screen that big. Mm-hmm. But everything else is just it's only redeeming. I won't even say redeeming. That's the only good part of this entire movie is the background outdoor shots.
Well, so how I would interpret that is like the only good thing. So it's the only good thing, meaning 50% of this was good. 50% of this shot. Like, yeah, I'm talking about a shot.
It basically is, yeah, because you got the 4 in the back.
Half of every shot was decent.
Yeah, pretty much.
But every shot was bad, but half of every shot was decent.
Otherwise, like, it's actually surprising to me that this was worse than the Marvels.
Oh, so much worse than the Marvels. Like, I gave this a 1, and I was being very honest. I wasn't being hyperbolic.
Yeah, I said 2, and I actually might drop it.
I like just as this discussion was going on, it reads more of like a parody than an actual like epic.
It's insane that this is written by adults.
Well, like I said, Peter Jackson putting his name on this, so like, Peter Jackson presents.
They made it to keep the rights as long as you're making content or whatever. Yeah. But it almost looks like it was made in a weekend. It feels like it was made in a weekend.
Yeah,
like, they spent no time on it.
Well, let's look at other. So it's been out for 2 days. So it's been out for 2 days. So let's be honest about let's be honest. Let's pull up the reviews. Here's my take before we show the reviews. I think the majority of these are fake. That's my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah, instead of buying critics, they're buying audience members.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think they just post the audience reviews, or I think they're just generating fake audience reviews.
Well, I mean, Tomato, I don't really.
No, but Rotten Tomatoes has a 52% on the tomato meter for critic
The
scores.
one time I agree with critics instead of audience.
Well, I don't even agree with them. I think they were lighter on this than they should have been.
Well, true. Very true.
But out of 83, a 50%, I'm like, okay. I think 1 week into this, I think we will have a more fair score, but we'll have to wait and see. There's no way to tell right now. But 85%, I call absolute bullshit. Like, there was one guy in the theater who, like, who started to clap at the end.
I want to say he was doing it ironically because we laughed and then they laughed.
Yeah, it's like some guy started clapping behind us and we burst out laughing. It was like, "Are you out of your this was in our theater, and this theater actually had more tickets. This showtime and this theater had more tickets sold than Craven,
which was on the
ultra screen, like the big screen.
Yeah.
So this movie had more attendance than
and it still wasn't even
films.
that packed.
No.
I mean, it wasn't packed. It was just like blotted throughout the
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like it had like a sellout performance.
There were a total of 4 of us in technically the second row.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
So it was very.
One guy counts as 3. So 7.
Yeah, that fat fuck to our left. Yes.
That guy was huge.
I smelt him for a majority of the movie, and then I unfortunately got used to it.
Yeah. So it was bad. But yeah, so all in all, to say that this movie, I think the critics are being super soft. I'm convinced that the 85% is fake. Because when you come down to so critics,
like, okay, so Gary from New York, he said this is it's dog shit, but it's still better than Rings of Power. Would you say that?
I've heard that too. Rings of Power. I mean,
this is more, even though it's not faithful really at all to the source material, it's still technically more faithful to the source material than
the
Rings of Power.
first time I sat through Rings of Power, first time I sat down to watch it, I made it 20 minutes in.
Okay.
I watched 2.5 hours of this.
I wanted to leave at minute 15.
Yeah, fair.
No, like there was a point where it's like, you have a choice. And I was like, can I choose to leave right now?
But let's read the first couple of we're not going to read every critic review, but let's just read the first one. So on critics review, Rotten Tomatoes, Zachary Lee
from RogerEbert.com. How the fuck did you get that job? Anyway,
what?
Roger Ebert, he's a famous critic.
Yep, I see it. Worse art has been made in the name of studio trying to retain rights to a franchise, but it's hard to remember the last time a project embodied its company's marching orders so blatantly. Oof, that's well said.
Yeah, I concur.
Dylan Roth from The Observer. This anime feature is mostly wrought medieval fantasy. Is it wrote? ROTE. Mostly.
I don't think I've ever even seen that.
Mostly wrote medieval fantasy that doesn't have widespread appeal of Peter Jackson's trilogy.
That is so, like, just why did you even take the 2 minutes to even write the review? Is so bland.
It's a good single sentence, I suppose. Daily Beast, Nick Shager, only receiving a multiplex release because Warner Brothers had to do so in order to maintain the franchise theatrical rights. It's inconsequential and hackneyed to the point of being forgettable. Yeah, this is just absolute dog shit. There are, like, I guess there's one fresh.
Go back one.
Didn't you want to see the fresh ones? Do you want to see another?
The prequel to the Oscar-winning Lord of the Rings trilogy falls very short of expectations. Anime is a worthy new format of Lord of the Rings. Anime could do a lot of things with a lot of franchises, but this one sucked dick.
Yeah, it was bad.
But the movie's visuals are sometimes sloppy, and too many characters have bland personalities.
That's probably the best
Sloppy
one
is kindest way to put it.
Well, because it's definitely talking about this. Definitely doesn't even bring up the licensing issue. It's just talking about the movie, which I appreciate more. Let's check out 2 of the positive reviews. One could argue there's no real creative reason for War of the Rohirrim, but for those who have stayed invested in Tolkien's imagination, perhaps thrills and comfort food fantasy awaits.
It would have. If you adapted the actual story.
Yeah, this reeks of someone who didn't watch it.
Or doesn't know the original.
Yeah. Damon Fudge, KCCI, the War of the Rohirrim is gorgeously animated spectacle worthy of the name Tolkien. It is back.
This dude didn't watch the movie. He
Yeah,
just
he didn't
watched the backgrounds.
Yeah, he didn't watch the
He
movie.
was watching the backgrounds the
Yep.
entire time.
First off, it's not worthy of Tolkien in any
no.
context. That's just an irredeemably stupid sentence. War of the Rohirrim, gorgeously animated is the issue. The animation was
Gorgeously drawn.
yeah,
Not
it's gorgeously drawn. The animation was choppy and bad. It wasn't good animation. It wasn't.
It was awkward as fuck.
You could tell these people are just fucking liars. Let's go to the audience score and just see what some of the sentiment is from these 5 stars here.
Oh yeah, that's fuck.
All right, Robert Q, audience review. Kept to the storyline and mythos enough to be an enjoyable experience. It checked the boxes at a minimum degree, and
then killed the other boxes.
yeah, it like butchered. I mean, whatever. Go enjoy your film. Doug says movie was acted well,
No.
gorgeous to watch, fantastic music and sound design, and my only slight complaint was the story was simple but very enjoyable.
Everything about 5 out of 5. Okay, yeah, these people that are rating it, like
I saw it 5 out of 5. Yeah,
I know everyone's 5 out of 5. That is a perfect movie.
yeah, that's a
You
perfect
can't
film.
rate it that way.
No, yeah, honestly, and we don't have to keep going into the 5 stars. I'd like to see if anyone.
Janky animation, terrible plot, script, and dialogue are laughable. 2 out of 5. I like it.
Thank
KLR.
you, KLR. Well said, sir. And this is just a summary. He's got a full review here.
That's
Oh, I thought that was a summary. I misread this. Guys, we're going to summarize it here. Guys, the movie was absolutely horrible. If you are a fan and love Tolkien's work, the professor's work, you're going to find a couple of things in here that were technically true, but it's completely buried under this mountain of just bad filmmaking.
Coming out of the movie, I said it was the most fan fiction I've ever seen on screen before.
I think the animation was worth an attempt, and I think it still could be in Tolkien's universe.
If
but
you add 20 frames in between each frame.
exactly, this movie is jittery. It's poorly done. The script and the dialogue are horrible, and there's no redeeming qualities in this film. Like, if you go there and you enjoy it, let us know in the comments. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us if it isn't jittery. Tell us if the dialogue isn't bad.
No, don't tell us where we're wrong. Convince me that I'm wrong.
Yeah,
at some point.
just give us an argument for it. But I would have to say that the fact they kept name dropping shit over and over again, and because
Christopher Lee is in this too as Saruman. I forgot about that.
Yep,
He
his
spoke
deleted
3
scene.
words
His deleted scene from
The Hobbit or something. They just use that.
yeah. So it's let's end on this. That with the name dropping and everything, you have Hera near the end of the film saying, "This place is now called Helm's Deep in name of my father."
Skywalker moment.
Well, and we sat there and we both went, and like, oh my god, they said the thing.
It has a new name now. People call it
The people have spoken.
Helm's Deep. What does the deep mean? I don't know.
You could tell they thought the audience was gonna fucking jizz themselves over that moment.
Oh my god, she said it.
She said the ding. Guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you so much for enjoying, or if you guys enjoyed this content. Holy shit!
Stroke. You're still thinking about Helm's Deep.
You should do an outro one. Of
I
these
can't do
times.
outros because you're the one.
Apparently, I can't either.
No, you're the one that like blabs.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So.
I do blab.
Your name is Talks.
But guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna try another time here. If you enjoyed this content, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and share the video out there. Tune in next weekend. We'll be back for another episode of the podcast. It should be a ton of fun. We have a lot of additional content coming out this week, including Bannerlord returns on Thursday. Tomorrow we have Sunday Slackers. We are going to be playing Marvel
Rivals.
Exactly. So
much fun.
It's going to be a ton of fun, so don't miss it. Make sure to come back for that. And don't forget to check out the merch store. Link is in the description. Amazing stuff on there. And again, to win the free giveaway, you have to comment on videos, and if your comment receives the most likes, you will be the winner. So check out our stuff, comment below, and let us know your thoughts. We will see you guys on the next one. Go tell your stories. Peace out.